It's the new spot for local sports talk in the afternoon.
Cattles and Ramie. Cattles and Ramie.
I describe him as the best, obviously.
It's Cattles.
He throws it out there. Speaks his mind. That's cool.
It's Ramie.
He's supposed to make people laugh. He's just an expert at it.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
So this is it, Ramie. This is my last show until...
Ever?
No.
Oh, okay.
Till
you said this is it. I was like, what happened?
Trying to figure out. I've had enough of you
just
already.
got here.
I've had enough. Enough is enough. I'm trying to figure out what the date would be. I have all next week off, is pretty much what I'm saying. Well, I technically have Monday through Wednesday off, and then Thursday and Friday. Thursday we have no show because of A's baseball, and then on Friday I have a little bit of a medical procedure I have to get done in the afternoon. So I'm going to be
serious, right?
No,
Okay.
hopefully not.
Good.
Hopefully not.
All
There's,
right.
We gotta get some tests, some things done, and then we'll figure out if it's anything that we need to talk about or not. But I don't think it's anything serious.
I just got here. Don't
Yeah, I know. I hate to put that pressure on you.
Exactly.
Well, happy Thursday, everybody. After talking about medical procedures, happy to be with you. Cattles Ramie, Sactown Sports 1140. All right, we've had the Summer League disclaimer, and we continue to give you that Summer League disclaimer. It's only Summer League. Don't go too crazy, right? Don't get too far ahead of yourself. But I just saw a tweet from our friend, Jason Anderson of the Sacramento Bee. Mm-hmm. According to a league source, Keegan Murray is expected to play in tomorrow's game against the Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
Don't get it. The reason why I don't get this is, honestly, last night, here's my takeaway from last night's game, Ramie, right? We talked about it yesterday, Keegan versus Chet. Shut it down. Shut him down.
Why would you shut it down?
Because I don't need any unfortunate injuries in a summer league game against a team like the Suns. That means nothing at the end of the day. Keegan Murray has proven everything he needs to prove.
None of this has meant anything.
No, I know, but you already saw him play. Giving him some run makes sense. But giving him another game in the summer, I just, look, again, watching last night's game, I said, shut it down, put him in bubble wrap. He's ready for the preseason. He's ready for camp. He's obviously an NBA player. He has nothing to prove against the Suns. I don't even think the Suns have anybody of consequence they play in this summer league anyway. It's not like they have somebody who's really, really good. Like, he's going to go out there and play against a bunch of bench dudes, maybe even worse than that. Like, I've seen enough. He was terrific last night. I know you got to watch that game last night, Keegan versus Chet. Mm-hmm. What was your number one takeaway about Keegan Murray last night?
That this dude, I mean, he, first of all...
Wait, you called him a dude?
I did call him a dude.
Did you mean to call him a dude in that way?
He's a summer league dude.
Okay.
Is that fair? He's that dude in the summer league.
Got you.
I mean, I know it's not, yes, it's just a summer league. The notorious disclaimer now, it is just a summer league. But as far as the matchup between him and Chet Holmgren, he took it to Chet Holmgren. Like, that wasn't even, and it's not the be-all, end-all. Like, these guys still have whole careers ahead, literally in their entire NBA careers ahead of them. But, man, he was by far and away the better player on the court last night between him and Chet. It wasn't even close. And he was the best player on that court, period.
No doubt about it.
There was zero doubt about it.
No doubt about it. And look, what I liked last night about the game, and I talked about this on yesterday's show before we bid you adieu. And by the way, we have a full 3-hour show.
All right.
Feels like a marathon. Gonna try to get through it all
Breathe a
today.
little bit.
But we said last night in the Power Hour show we had again, I wanted to see a couple of things from Keegan. And if I saw those couple of things, again, I'd say it's a wrap. It's done. The first thing I wanted to see was Keegan be aggressive early, and he was. I mean,
very aggressive
right
early.
out the jump, he was aggressive. He was aggressive early. And part of the aggression was the fact that he was getting paint touches. He was getting inside the paint and making things happen. I tweeted that out before the game yesterday at Knicks C Radio. Give me the aggression early and give me some paint touches. Check, check. First half, he had 9 free throw attempts, and that's because he was so aggressive. Something else that I noticed last night, we talked about his ability, or at times, mostly inability, to create off the dribble.
I was just going to say this.
Yeah,
he was creating his own shot all night last night.
He's had some issues earlier on in the Summer League, and that's why we say, again, it's the Summer League. don't go too crazy. These guys are going to continue to develop and work on their games and talk to the coaching staff and figure out what they have to do to improve. And one of the things I wanted to see, and again, it's matchup dependent, but I wanted to see Keegan get some more creativity off the dribble and to score at least a couple of times off the dribble. And he did that last night. He did it in back-to-back possessions, good takes, off the glass. And I was just impressed. I was impressed because he did some of the things that we had not seen him do up until this point. And he talked about it, Ramie, in the postgame as to why he was so aggressive in playing that way early.
Yeah, I think it was just it was really Doug Christie. He kind of just said that I need to be more aggressive, just attack the paint more because I felt like I was settling a lot in the last couple of games. So I just made a goal of mine to be more aggressive, get to the foul line a little bit more, and just attack.
Love it. Coach Christie saw what I saw and what other people saw. Hey, look, Keegan, you're not being aggressive enough. Go out there and attack. And it's great that not only did Keegan hear that, he implemented it. He executed it, Ramie.
And I love that Doug Christie is still in these guys' ears.
Yep.
And still around this organization and a part of this organization. You've told me before that he used to walk these halls plenty and be in this studio, and just a great dude, and I think a great influence to have on this young basketball team. But yeah, him creating his own shot yesterday off the dribble, that steal and run down the court where he and
the flush.
Did you see?
Nice.
Did you see a little smirk on his face? I'm not even kidding. Did you see a little smirk on his face when he was running down the court? And I don't remember who the player was for Oklahoma City, was running down kind of parallel to him and thought he had a shot at blocking it. And I think Keegan Murray was really running down the court and going, this dude thinks he has a shot.
Oh, he was. And then he couldn't wait to punch that.
Just punched it down. That was an impressive play right there, man. But why do you want to shut him down? I don't understand. Like, I'm not like,
because he has nothing to prove.
I know, but I'm not like, this generation is soft guy. Okay, so don't mischaracterize this as that. But we're really like putting 20-year-olds in bubble wrap and worrying about load management at that point in their careers. Like, come on, man.
It's simply put, okay, there's one phrase that I just go back to in instances like this: risk versus reward. And I just think the risk is way too high versus the reward of what you see from Keegan tomorrow night against the Suns. He's proven what he needs to prove. I want to move away from that, though, because I got a second point about Keegan last night and what he's done so far. Again, disclaimer, Summer League is Summer League, Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports 1140, we've told you that. But he has dominated his peers, and I do think that means something. Matt Williams tweeted out, he is a research producer for ESPN, tweeted this out last night. Murray is averaging 24 points in the Las Vegas Summer League. The last rookie top 10 pick to average more points in the Summer League was Dame Dolla in 2012. Now, I'm not calling Keegan Dame Dolla, but what I'm telling you is what we've seen from Keegan in Vegas is unique. This is different. You know, you don't take too much out of the Summer League, but the fact that he's dominated at the level he has, and he's played against Paolo Banchero, he's played against Benedict Mathurin, he played last night against, Chet Holmgren. And by the way, broadcast crew, NBA TV, it's Holmgren. I don't know how you can't pronounce the last name of the second pick in the draft. There was something else. Another tweet I saw, Tim Maxwell, 22, from Kings Herald. Among rookies in Las Vegas, Keegan's first in minutes, first in points, first in field goals made. He is second in three-pointers made, first in three-point attempts. He shoots 37% from three, second in free throws made, second in free throws attempted, fourth in field goals attempted, and fourth in field goal percentage. Again, Summer League is Summer League, but when you look at the level of competition and the fact that he is playing against fellow top 5, top 6 picks, this dude has obviously been the best rookie and Summer League, and I don't think it's been necessarily close.
It's not been close. He's been lapping the field. Did you read the stat that he has 6 20-point games and the rest of the rookies combined have 5? Like, he's literally lapping.
It's insane.
He's lapping the rookie field right now in the Summer League. And you're right. Like, the disclaimer stands of it is just a Summer League, but when you're doing things that guys just don't do in this league and haven't done, or very few of them have, and you're just dominating it the way that he has, I think it means something. I think it sends a message, or at least gives you some idea of the type of player that this dude is. Yeah, King's got a good one, man.
The patience, the poise, all of those kinds of things. That's what he's all about. Meanwhile, Chet Holmgren.
I'm not trying to pull a freezing cold takes on you.
What's that?
It'd be real easy to lose. Like, he could turn sideways and you wouldn't be able to see Chet because the dude's so skinny. But
Chet,
on draft day, I think you said, like, Keegan's not the most athletic.
He's not.
And that was, like, the rap on him. But I think he's shown in the summer league he's a little bit more athletic than we gave him credit for.
Okay, I was going to go to Chet, but you've sent me back to Keegan. Here's the which is fine. I think let's remember the context here. Context is king. I think I said he is not athletic as other guys in the NBA. When you stack him up against NBA athletes, guys like Jaden Ivey and Ja Morant and some of these freaks, he's not a freak athlete. Of course he's athletic. Most guys in the NBA are athletic, but he's not going to wow you with his athleticism.
They said a comparison last night on the game, and I was like, oh, I haven't heard that one before. Now I can't remember what it is, but I heard it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I could see that. Now I can't remember who it is, though.
Well, he's got, again, he's an athlete. He's a professional athlete. He doesn't have a 40-inch vert. He's not going to, run up and down the floor with blazing speed, but he's a good athlete. You got to be a good athlete. Well, mostly, unless you're like just 7'5" and you could just take up space. Most dudes in the NBA are very athletic. Your thoughts on Keegan Murray? Again, I thought, yes, there's no doubt it's Summer League. We've talked about that. We've given you that disclaimer. But when you look at it, relatively speaking, when you look at the competition level and who is Keegan, playing against, which is other top 5 guys and, top 6 guys, he's been dominant. He's been the best player on the floor. And I don't see much reason to play him tomorrow night, but apparently the Kings disagree with me. Want your thoughts? 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone line is 1-800-920-1140. You can always check us out on YouTube, Sactown Sports 1140, youtube.com. We'll continue our discussion about Keegan Murray with you. Also, an NBA superstar is closer to being on the move. We'll have the latest in about 90 seconds.
Sactown Sports 1140 is giving you more NBA Summer League access than anyone else in Sacramento.
Keegan Murray is getting buzzed. Like, he's a really good player, and I've been telling people, like, I like the moves of the offseason. Think they'll be better. They are obviously incredibly invested in De'Aaron Fox.
Get all the latest on our social media channels
And online at SactownSports.com.
Coverage of the 2022 NBA Summer League is brought to you by Power Business Technology. Visit them at PowerCopiers.com.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Coastside Clinic. Are you struggling with ED and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical breakthrough. The WAVE technology at Coastside Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique. I don't think I've ever seen it fail. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 916-603-2000. That's 916-603-2000. Guys, put a stop to your ED and get your love life back. Call Coastside Clinic now to qualify. 916-603-2000. That's 916-603-2000.
It's the new spot for local sports talk in the afternoon. Cattles and Ramie.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports 1140.
APB out on Chet Holmgren, by the way, in Vegas. They're still looking for him after the first quarter last night. My man disappeared. Still great skill level, and if he can stay healthy and if he can survive with that frame, I still think he's a highly skilled, very good basketball player. But
was it just me, or was there missing a lot of talk last night on that game about a guy with 8 points?
There was
on the broadcast.
There was at one point. One of the broadcasters said on NBA TV something along the lines of, it was like in the fourth quarter. Well, we're getting the battle exactly that we expected to get between Chet Holmgren and I'm like, what?
Absolutely, we're not.
I'm like, what?
We were not getting that at all.
Chet literally did nothing.
Stupid.
Yeah, I mean, Chet did nothing for 2.5 quarters while Keegan was blistering everybody. I don't know what they were talking about, but 8 points, 5 rebounds, 5 steals, 3 assists, 0 blocks for Chet last night. Back to Keegan before we get to some NBA news about a superstar who might be getting closer, moving addresses. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes. Keegan's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, Ramie. He was with Chris Haynes on Chris Haynes' podcast out there in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And here's what Keegan had to say.
I just remember the biggest thing teams or coaches were saying was I wouldn't be able to produce right away in college. And, I mean, my confidence has never wavered. My dad has been my biggest supporter in my basketball career. So he just kept saying, like, just keep working and eventually good things will happen. And I just never stopped believing in him.
Do you remember the names of those people who doubted you, those coaches?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know first and last names. Yeah.
First and last names. He keeps track of everybody who doubted him. Now, he did say when he was in college, right? So he's not talking about right now. Mm-hmm. He's talking about when he got to Iowa. But, that's a lot of athletes, man. They hold on to every little morsel that can drive them. And it's rather obvious Keegan does the same thing.
And sometimes it's the quiet ones.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the quiet ones that are carrying the biggest chip on that shoulder, and they don't show it to you that often. But when they do, you're like, oh yeah, that's a boulder he's got there on it. That's a little more than a chip. He's got a boulder there on his shoulder. I've compared him before with some of the more like mild-mannered guys that we've seen come through this league, like the Derrick Roses. Dame Lillard is a little bit more soft-spoken and mild-mannered than most till he gets in the studio and drops a new mixtape. But the quiet guys sometimes are carrying the biggest chip on their shoulder, and it sounds like from that little exchange with Chris Haynes that Keegan is one of those dudes that there's a little bit more driving him than just I want to win this game today.
Yeah, don't be like misled by his on-court demeanor. Some people, if they see a professional athlete who isn't over-emotional, they question if they care. I always found that to be ridiculous. You get the body language people out there that read into everything. He cares, and he keeps in his head a Rolodex of people that have doubted him, and that's a good thing. Let's jump to some other NBA news here. Cattles Ramie, Sactown Sports 1140. Last night, Ramie, Shams Charania and Tony Jones from The Athletic reported that the Utah Jazz and the New York Knicks are talking. Now, as part of this story, what I found most interesting is that according to this specific report, the Knicks are not including, during these talks, R.J. Barrett, or really anybody of like significance. The names that popped up that I saw were like Obi Toppin. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. In these conversations between Utah and New York, and we're not surprised, you and I talked about it as soon as the Donovan Mitchell thing came out on Tuesday from Woj.
It just made sense.
We said New York, right?
That they would overpay for a guy who's not quite a top-tier superstar and pin all their hopes on him, and then it would burn gloriously, and we would all laugh. Yeah.
They've got tons of picks, and, they've been dying to get somebody who is seen as an all-star and one of the better players. They've been dying to get that kind of a guy on that roster for years. But let me ask you this. If you're the Knicks and you're talking with the Jazz, and the Jazz say, look, this deal gets done only if R.J. Barrett is included in the deal, do you do it if you're New York?
How many first-round picks did you say they had the other day?
Well, they have, I think, 11. They can trade 8 because of the rules. They can trade 4 of their own and 4 other picks that they have.
They have 11 in the next how many years?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. 4 or 5 years. I'm not sure on that.
I think Donovan Mitchell is a better player than R.J. Barrett. Like we talked, I just said Donovan Mitchell, not a top tier. He's not like a tier 1. They're doing these tier rankings on The Athletic right now, which are always fun. I think Donovan Mitchell is like solidly in tier 2, which is probably accurate if I remember correctly. R.J. Barrett's a tier 3 player at best. So you're getting a better player. You're a better team. And I think he's closer to being that superstar type of talent than R.J. Barrett maybe will ever be. You know what I mean? And with those draft picks that they have, like you said, 11 in the next however many years, they're still going to have a bunch left after whatever this trade is for Donovan Mitchell.
Yep.
Maybe you find the right guy or guys to pair or team up with him in the next year or two in those drafts. Maybe the lottery balls land your way and the right guy falls in your lap that you can put together a championship team around Donovan Mitchell. I think it's an upgrade, and you have the opportunity in the coming years to get the pieces to put around him and build something that is great. I mean, they're the Knicks, so they won't. they'll mess it up terribly. But the opportunity is there, and you would think that they believe that they can do it, even though none of us do, really.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree that if you're the Knicks, you make that deal. And what I think is happening here is that, Quentin Grimes and Obi Toppin, the names being thrown out, that is coming, I would imagine, from New York side. New York doesn't want to trade R.J. Barrett. In a perfect world, they'd bring Mitchell in, keep Barrett, have Jalen Brunson, and then maybe make another move. I don't think Danny Ainge, and trust me, I have a lot of history with Danny Ainge. I know a lot of the trades he has made and a lot of the trades that he decided not to do. The one thing that Ainge doesn't do is lose a trade. And I don't think Ainge is going to pull the trigger on trading Mitchell without getting somebody like an R.J. Barrett. Maybe I'll end up being wrong, but if I am the Knicks, I still make the deal.
For sure.
Mitchell's a top 25 guy right now. He's a top 25 player in the league. You would like to see him play defense again. He kind of quit on that end of the floor last year, but he's a top 25 guy right now, and this is not surprising to anybody if you pay close attention. His representation is CAA, and that's where Leon Rose is from. And Rose is now the guy who makes decisions for the Knicks. So Mitchell has a history with him. So the idea, very much like LeBron in L.A., with what's going on with Clutch, is you bring Donovan Mitchell to New York, that CAA relationship and Leon Rose, they start to talk to other stars, and then maybe that is kind of the segue into bringing somebody else in along with Mitchell shortly here down the road.
I knew Leon Rose was a very connected guy, before he became the GM.
Not Rich Paul connected, but he's connected.
Right. But, man, it's leading to some... I forget what all the ties were to Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson's dad and Leon Rose are very good friends.
They hired Brunson's dad to be a coach.
Is that... No, but I mean...
That's part of it.
Even before that, they have a long-standing relationship. Leon Rose might be Jalen Brunson's godfather. I'm not sure. And I think his son might be Jalen Brunson's agent, if I'm not mistaken. Like that... There are lifelong ties between them that go way, way back that make you wonder, not wonder, but make you go, no wonder he paid him $110 million. That's family right there.
Tell you, man, relationships matter.
It's wild, man, and now he might end up getting Donovan Mitchell for much the same reason. I mean, it's a weird thing. Man.
I don't think anybody believes the Knicks are a contender by adding Mitchell, especially if you trade Barrett, but you mentioned it, Ramie. It's a great point. They still have more firepower. You still have Obi Toppin. You still have Grimes. If you have to trade R.J. Barrett as part of this deal, you still have a couple of young players that other guys in the league might like. You still have enough picks to move and make sure, again, you can't have back-to-back years without a pick. Let's not forget that. But you have other pieces. And you're New York, man. Like I said, they've been dying. They have been absolutely dying to get a top 25 guy in Madison Square Garden the last few years, and this is their chance to do so.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. Your thoughts about Keegan Murray, if you still got him. Your thoughts on Donovan Mitchell. 916-339-1140 is the text line. Phone number is 1-800-920-1140. Don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at Nick C Radio and at Ramie is tweeting. Also want to remind you, the Sactown Sports 1140's coverage. The 2022 Open Championship brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Donovan Mitchell isn't the only NBA name that is causing a stir today. We'll have another one for you next.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
The new Fords have arrived at Folsom Lake Ford. I know you've been waiting for a new F-150 or maybe an Explorer or Expedition. Guess what? Folsom Lake Ford has them. Your truck headquarters for over 30 years right here in Sacramento is all stocked up with new Fords and used vehicles. Save with low interest financing on your favorite new models and zero down deals available on all new and used vehicles with approved credit. Get top dollar for your trade, making your monthly payment on your new Ford even lower. Folsom Lake Ford is the only dealership I recommend to my friends. A Triple Crown Award winner for sales, service, and finance. Highway 50 Folsom exit, or browse fresh inventory online at folsomlakeford.com. It's updated almost daily. And if you can't find what you're looking for, give them a call. Tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford.
You know you need auto insurance. It's the law. But it can be tough to find coverage that fits your budget. California's low-cost auto insurance program provides affordable, liability-only auto insurance that meets California's legal requirements. CLCA is your low-cost solution for auto insurance if you are a licensed California driver who meets certain conditions, including income eligibility, are at least 16 years of age with a good driving record, and own a vehicle valued at $25,000 or less. AB60 drivers are eligible. Why risk driving without auto insurance when California has an affordable solution just for you? For more information on California's low-cost auto insurance program, go to mylowcostauto.com. That's mylowcostauto.com. Or call 866-602-8861. That's 866-602-8861.
MVP's bonus days are here for pros. For 12 days, pros save big and MVPs get even more. Because MVP's Pro Rewards members can earn bonus points to redeem for rewards. Earn points on every dollar spent up to $1,000 and get up to 3 times more points when you shop select brands and products. Find MVP's bonus day savings from July 11th to the 22nd in-store and online. Exclusively at Lowe's. Exclusively for pros. MVP's Pro Rewards program subject to program terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/L/pro loyalty terms. Subject to change.
Sports are easy to disagree on. Let's see what happens when sports talk hosts talk about something they agree on.
No, hold on. I'm saying drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Well, I disagree. I think drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Come on. Wait, I think we're saying the same thing.
Oh, so what do we do now?
Everyone agrees that drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2020 and May 2021. Potential savings will vary.
Yams, carrots, peas. Immune health is important. Salmon, swordfish, almonds. And when it comes to vitamins and minerals, healthy foods hold them all. Pumpkin, peppers, beets.
But can you hold them all?
Oh, so full.
Sunrise Natural Foods has the healthy foods and the largest selection of immune-boosting supplements your body needs. So eat healthy and supplement too with a great selection of health from Sunrise Natural Foods. Learn about monthly specials at sunrisenaturalfoods.net.
Welcome to Lowe's Summer Savings. Find great deals across the entire store and check out the back aisle for savings you can't pass up. Get up to an additional $500 off now on select major appliances. Or snag our Allen & Roth Harlow Brush Nickel Widespread Faucet. Was $99, now $79. Enjoy great savings all summer long at Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility. Appliances in-store must ask cashier to apply discount at time of purchase. Online must enter applicable promo code at checkout. Savings vary based on purchase amount. While supplies last, about 7/14 through 7/20.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the afternoons.
You're talking to the original tag team of ugly pukes here.
It's Cattles. It's Ramie.
Sactown Sports 1140.
I was right about something.
Yeah.
How about that? Huh?
Before we get to another NBA, I don't want to use the word star, another NBA name who could be changing addresses here in the next couple of days. Ramie did some research.
I did.
Last segment, he was talking about this relationship between Rick Brunson and Jalen Brunson and Leon Rose and CAA, and you were right.
I reeled off a long list of facts.
You did.
About the relationship between those two, and afterwards I was like, oh, did I get that right?
Like, you ran off so many, I started to wonder if you were just adding things just to add
Same.
things.
I was wondering the same thing about myself, but this is from, I thought I remembered reading this. This is from Tim Reynolds, who covers the NBA for the Associated Press, blue check mark and everything. And this was the day Jalen Brunson signed with the Knicks, and the tweet read, Jalen Brunson goes to Knicks, a team for whom Rick Brunson played and works, a team that Leon Rose runs. Leon Rose was Rick Brunson's agent, and Leon Rose reportedly is Jalen Brunson's godfather. Leon Rose is Sam Rose's father, and Sam Rose is Jalen Brunson's agent.
What the hell is happening right now?
That's a whole lot of connections right there, man. Why don't I have a godfather who can get me $110 million that I don't deserve? Like, what? My godfather is just my dad's brother who has no money. You know what I mean? Why can't I have Leon Rose as a godfather who's going to give me a $110 million contract that I do not deserve?
That's a good point.
Right?
Yes. My godfather taught me how to, read a clock.
My godfather is useless. It's done nothing. It's done nothing.
You
gave me an
useless
envelope
godfather.
of money on Christmas for like the first 18 years of my life. I've barely heard from him since.
He's a godfather in name only.
Leon Rose is given $110 million to
This is
Jalen
no longer about Brunson or CAA or any of that. This is about Ramie's godfather.
To be a tier 3 NBA basketball player.
What are we doing?
Really?
Come on now.
Why isn't my godfather running
Anything. Any company.
Yeah.
Any family member.
Right.
Well, them's the breaks, Ramie, as they say. By the way, speaking of money and millions of dollars, so Deandre Ayton has been offered a 4-year, $133 million offer sheet by the Indiana Pacers. Here's ESPN's Brian Windhorst on the situation.
The concept of losing a player like DeAndre Ayton for nothing, which would happen if they didn't match in 48 hours, would be a devastating blow to Phoenix. We almost never see the loss of a restricted free agent to this level. But they do not believe that Ayton is a max player. They didn't believe he was a max player during the extension talks last fall. They do not believe he's a max player now. Matching this would make DeAndre Ayton untradeable until January 15th, so he couldn't be used in any kind of Kevin Durant trade, even if they kept him. And it would push the Suns about $15 million into the luxury tax, a very penal place that they have almost never gone before.
Now, Adrian Wojnarowski, it's kind of a weird day on Twitter because Woj tweeted out that the offer sheet was sent, or at least that Ayton and Indiana had agreed on the 4-year, $133 million offer sheet. And then Woj followed that up saying Phoenix is expected to match. People continue to tweet about this story as if Woj did not tweet that. So as far as we know, Phoenix is going to match this 4-year, $133 million offer sheet. Ramie, your thoughts on all of it, man. DeAndre Ayton, $133 million.
It's all very strange. It's all very... I don't understand why anybody involved really is doing what they're doing. I don't understand. First, like I just said about Jalen Brunson, that just... I'm never mad at a guy for getting his money. I'm happy that Jalen Brunson got paid and DeAndre Ayton go get the bag, dude. I'm not mad at it at all. That just seems like a lot of money for that dude. And like you and I have talked about, when it comes to DeAndre Ayton, this can be read two different ways, but he literally said when he got to the NBA, like, what would be a successful NBA career, he was asking. It was like getting a big second contract.
Yep.
So I don't know if that means I proved myself and I've done something in this league and so I've made it, or if he means like I got the bag and now I'm good. You know what I mean? It could mean either way, but with the discontent in Phoenix about him, to give this guy that much money, as unproven as he is, seems crazy to me. If you're Phoenix, I don't understand why you would necessarily now get something for him after you match it, I guess. But as was pointed out, now they can't even work out a sign and trade with Indiana. So
once the offer sheet is out there, that's it.
If DeAndre Ayton wants to be in Indiana, why does he sign this? This doesn't make sense to me from anybody's standpoint.
Because he's restricted. So he has to he just can't go out there and sign a deal. He's got to go out there and sign an offer sheet if somebody's willing to give him the offer sheet. And then we play the NBA game where you've got to go back to Phoenix and say, will you match this offer? And they have 2 days to do so. This is a contract that is paying DeAndre Ayton what he's going to be, not what he's been. And if the Pacers are going to give him this kind of money, I'm not telling you he's a max guy. I don't think he's a max guy. And I liked him coming out of college, and I think he's a good NBA player. But at least you could make the argument for Indiana because they're looking at it saying, we don't think Phoenix used him to his capability. We think we can get more out of him, and we think the way we're going to use him is going to justify this contract. For Phoenix, they're not going to change how they utilize DeAndre Ayton. He is what he is in their system. And as you mentioned, it's such a strange place to be. Because if you're Phoenix now, if you are going to indeed match this, as Woj said is expected, you're giving a guy that you don't love a max deal. They don't love him. I don't even know if they like him a lot, and they're going to give this guy a max deal.
It's kind of crazy. And if you're Indiana, don't you know that Phoenix is likely to, do you really want DeAndre Ayton? Because don't you know that Phoenix is likely to match that for the reasons that you just laid out? And so now you can't even make a trade for him?
Right.
If Indy really wanted him, Why do you enter into it this way and not do the workaround where you actually end up with DeAndre Ayton at the end of the day? You know what I mean?
And Phoenix really created all of this for themselves. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports 1140, because Phoenix had a chance to approach him earlier than this and give him long-term security. They had a chance to trade him before you got to this point, before you got to this offseason. You had a chance to address your center position and do more than Bismack Biyombo, who they'd be stuck with. If DeAndre Ayton walks and goes to Indiana, Phoenix's starting center, aside from making another move down the road, they've got Bismack Biyombo. That would be their starting center. He'd be playing like 30 minutes a night. And Biyombo is not going to play 30, 35 minutes a night. So Phoenix kind of set themselves up to be in this position. And it's a very tough spot now because Indiana, here's the thing, Ramie. If you're Phoenix and you're thinking, oh, well, let's try to trade. Let's do a sign and trade deal. Well, that sounds great and all, but Indiana doesn't need to. Indiana's like, we got the cap space. Like, all we got to do is sign this guy. We want him. We think he's a max player or at least close to a max player. Maybe Indiana doesn't think he's a max guy, but they know they've got to go to that level to get him. So they're saying to themselves, we've got the cap space. We're not going to just give you assets for no reason. So Phoenix is stuck. They don't have a better option. They don't love this guy. He just got a max offer. They can't trade him for anything. They are literally stuck with him now. And the other part of this, Ramie, is will it affect the Kevin Durant talks? Because as Windhorst said, this move alone puts them in a different category when you talk about the tax level. They don't want to trade anybody of consequence for KD. Like they don't want to trade Devin Booker. You can't trade DeAndre Ayton as part of the deal if you sign him now because of the offer sheet. They're not going to trade Chris Paul because that makes zero sense. So if you're trying to chase KD, now you absolutely need a third or a fourth team, which makes it much more difficult. And on top of that, you're paying KD the max, DeAndre Ayton the max, Devin Booker the max, and you're also paying CP3 like $30 million or so a year at the age of 37.
That's if you can find a way to get those four guys on your roster at the same time, there's never a guaranteed championship. Obviously, we've seen super teams be put together and never quite put it all together, Brooklyn being the latest one. But if you can find a way to get those four guys on a roster, it almost doesn't matter what you have around them. It almost doesn't matter.
Very true. It's just, we
just saw Golden State spend ungodly money to keep that roster together and win that championship.
Right. I know there are people reporting, including our own with Bonneville, our company, parent company here, John Gambadoro, who's been doing all of this reporting. I mean, I saw him tweet out today. He had this DeAndre Ayton Indiana thing back on July 6th. So 8 days ago, he was tweeting, this looks like it could happen. And, he tweeted out that ownership is ready to go deep into the tax and they're willing to bring on Booker and keep Booker and bring on KD and keep all those guys. And it's a lot to ask. Are they saying that to sound like they're willing to put the money on the table, or will they actually put the money on the table? And the other thing is, if you're Indiana and you swing and miss on this, what do you do? Do you pivot? Do you try to get rid of Miles Turner? Do you keep Turner?
I thought Turner for Ayton made all the sense in the world. We talked about that yesterday on the show a little bit. I thought Turner for Ayton made all the sense in the world, and now apparently that swap is not going to happen.
Yeah, unless Phoenix is like, no, we don't like Miles Turner. We're all set with him. But it's fascinating to see how all this comes together because it does impact Kevin Durant. 916-339-1140 text line number 1-800-920-1140. Check out our website, sacktownsports.com. A personal change I've made that I'm not quite used to yet, and the snake draft is coming up.
It's Cattles. It's Ramie.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
The PGA Tour is back in Napa Valley with the Fortinet Championship, where fans experience every kind of cheers. Join us September 15th through the 18th at Silverado Resort and Spa for 4 days of world-class golf, Napa hospitality, and 2 nights of unforgettable performances featuring multi-platinum superstar Cole Swindell and Grammy-nominated powerhouse One Republic, all included with your daily ticket. Join Fortinet, Silicon Valley's leader in cybersecurity, at the Fortinet Championship. Secure your tickets now at FortinetChampionship.com.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed small business. Local ownership cuts out the red tape while ensuring our staff has the autonomy to make the quick, respectable business decisions necessary to deliver on our promise to always exceed the expectations of our customers. The power of our local family team will help you with your business printing needs. Contact us today at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Safe is such a great word. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa for Safe Credit Union. Safe just makes me feel secure with a sense of comfort. And in these turbulent times, finding anything that makes you feel protected is good for the soul. Being a member of Safe keeps your money local, gives you access to lower rates and higher dividends, while also giving you a sense of comfort that comes from knowing that your money is, well, safe. Safe Credit Union is insured by NCUA.
Greetings, Sacramento. It's Doug Christie here with the Good Feet store asking, when was the last time you did something nice for your feet? If you're like most people, your feet get attention only when there's a problem. That can mean something painful, maybe real painful, like plantar fasciitis. That was me. I counted on my feet to make a living, but ignored them until almost too late. Fortunately, I found the Good Feet store, got my free personalized fitting and test walk, and in 20 minutes, I left with my expertly fit Good Feet 3-step arch support system. The pain was no more, and my feet have never felt so comfortable. I'm a Good Feet believer, and you can be too. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, and Modesto. Online at goodfeet.com.
Sactown Sports 1140's coverage all week long of the 150th playing of the Open Championship is proudly brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Cattles and Ramie. Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
Ramie, pronounce DeAndre Ayton for me.
Turn my mic on.
There you go.
DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah. JJ, how do you say DeAndre Ayton?
DeAndre Ayton.
Chris?
DeAndre Ayton.
Okay.
We all said it the same way,
Yes.
right? Okay.
My guy David Neal is getting on me on YouTube. He says, Nick, you can't seem to pronounce Ayton's last name properly. There's a T in there. So he wants me to say DeAndre Ayton. It's very, very, very technical. Very technical. But I think most people are like us. I don't think many people. Do you say Peyton Manning?
Peyton?
When you're at a bar, you're like, oh, what a pass by Peyton Manning.
You can tell this guy isn't from Sacramento.
I mean, I love my guy, David. I do. He follows me on Twitter and stuff. I love you, David. But I don't know how many people actually pronounce the T in it. At least I'm not calling Chet Holmgren or Holmgren. Holmgren. That's what they were calling him last night on NBA TV. Chet Holmgren. I'm like, he's the second pick in the draft. Anyway.
It's an N, not an M.
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't on an island here.
You brought up the YouTube. I checked out our YouTube. My posture is just terrible.
It's
dude.
awful.
It's awful.
You're like lying back.
I know. I can't. I don't know what it is. I can't help it. So now I'm like very conscious. And also my camera angle, not good. I do not like this camera angle. I don't mean to be a diva, but we got to do something about this camera.
Here we go. I don't mean to be a diva, but that's precisely what I'm being right now.
Wide receiver style there, Ramie.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
I don't like it. I don't like it's
I didn't know I hired a diva when I brought you in.
My worst angle is my profile, and you're getting a straight profile. With
Although
this
you did ask for like only
camera angle right here.
You did ask for like green M&Ms only though, didn't you?
Why do you have the straight ahead and I have the profile?
This is a lot of behind the scenes stuff that nobody cares about.
Ramie Ocho Cinco.
Ramie Ocho Cinco in the house.
Just saying.
By the way, before we get to the snake draft, I've had a change of routine, and if you've known me for more than like a day, you know I'm very routine oriented. Do you shower at night or in the morning, Ramie?
Afternoon after I work out.
Afternoon shower guy. Yeah. Verlad, afternoon, morning, night shower guy?
Depends on the situation.
That's going to lead into my story, yes. JJ, night shower, morning shower? Where
I'm
you
a
at?
morning guy.
Now that I've moved here, it might end up being both. I'm funky, man. It's hot out here. I'm sweating.
And like Chris said, it depends on the situation. You play a game, go take a shower, get before the bed. Yeah.
Feeling a little musty, are you?
Yes.
So I have always been a morning shower guy because
Okay.
I just think it like wakes me up and makes me feel better. And,
Sure.
But I've started to try to get back to working out a little bit at night. So now I'm in the habit of showering at night, but I'm feeling like not as clean during the day. And it's bothering me a lot.
Yeah, I don't like that feeling.
I don't want to do the 2 showers, though, because that's outrageous.
We're taking 2, 3.
No, that was my thing. If I'm working out the night before and I take a night shower, then I'm showering in the morning.
Do you take when you take a second shower, do you change your underwear again?
Yeah, you have to. I'm not putting on already worn
All right,
underwear
so-
after I get out of the shower.
I agree.
Or
So-
just no underwear.
So, all right. I see how you're easy, Commando. I see how you're if I got to change underwear, right? I think Kelly would go crazy if I was running through that's 14 pairs of underwear in a week.
Yes,
I got to own stock in Hanes.
Kelly has domain over your underwear use? What are we talking about here?
She does the laundry. And she'd be like, "What are you doing with the underwear? What is happening? Why are you adding to the laundry load?
2 showers a day, then just do your own.
I'm not saying I need 2 showers a day. I'm just saying I feel a little weird.
I can't go throughout the day without having showered early in the day.
I feel the
I
same
get that
way.
grimy.
How about this? If you work out at night and you take a shower and then you wake up and then you kind of just jump in the water in the morning.
I was going to say they don't both have to
you
be.
You don't have to go like a full cleanse.
Yeah, they don't
right?
both have to be full on showers.
Or do they?
You can just do a rinse. Just a rinse, right?
Two full on showers, or is a rinse good?
Rinse is good.
Rinse is good. All right, maybe that's what I'll do then. I'll do a full on shower at night and a rinse.
Just a wake up rinse in the morning.
Spritz.
Just a spritz.
Spritz.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, there you have
Get
it.
the powder room for a spritz.
Let's get to the snake draft.
Things we love or hate.
Let's draft them.
With the first pick. This is the snake draft.
All right, so we had a story this week that we never got to because we did a bunch of 1-hour shows. And it's really tough to get to everything you want to get to when you have 1-hour shows Monday through Wednesday.
I'll circle back around to it because I'm solo and there's nothing going on next week.
Rami's going to circle back to a lot of things next week. So anyway, one of the things we wanted to get to but never did was favorite fictional sports characters. Mm-hmm. And so we figured, why not make that our snake draft for the day? So favorite fictional sports characters. You can get involved, by the way. Sactown Sports 1140 on YouTube. Favorite fictional sports characters. You can tweet at me at Nick C Radio. You can tweet at Rami is tweeting. And let's go to the order. Rami starts. So it's Rami, then it's me, then it's Jay, then it's Chris. We'll each do 3. So Rami, me, Jay, Chris. Rami, you start.
This is one where you maybe don't want the number 1 pick because there are so many good options.
Tough.
I feel like you'll stir it up, right? But for me, a formative character for me growing up in a franchise of movies that I love was Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn from Major League.
Oh, Ricky Vaughn.
Give me Wild Thing Vaughn from Major League.
Better teach this kid some control before he kills somebody.
Love that character. Love that character.
Right. He wasn't on my list.
Really?
He would have been on my list if I went to like 10 or 11, but he's not on my list. I only went like 8 or 9 deep.
He's got a mental problem. So
that's true. Here's my top pick, and I have to. I'm not. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's the best fictional sports character, but he's so iconic, and I love him. Especially when I was growing up, I gotta go Rocky Balboa.
That's my second.
Rocky's gotta be there.
Close second.
We did it! Rocky Balboa, Sylvester Stallone, you genius.
Have you gone back and watched the first Rocky, by the way?
Not in a long time.
Recently?
Not great.
The whole Rocky Adrian thing
didn't age well.
It's a little.
Yeah.
Doesn't age well.
No.
Locks the door behind him, corners her. It's it's
easy.
Yeah, I know.
Balboa.
I didn't write it. I'm just telling you what happened.
I'm glad that you brought that up after I picked the guy in my mouth. All right, let's go to Jay. Jay's up next.
Yeah, I'm going. My first pick is if you're named after Jesus, I'm going with you. I'm going Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Jesus Shuttlesworth.
You got a defender in your way. You take him to the left. You take him back to the right, and he's falling back. You just Jay right in his face.
Jay right in his face. Take Jesus Shuttlesworth.
I thought you were taking the Jesus from
a blue chipper.
I thought you were taking the Jesus from The Big Lebowski.
I'm going to tell you right now who the happiest person.
He also has problems there, Rami.
I'm going to tell you who the happiest person in Sacramento is right now. It's Chris Verlade.
Why is that?
Because Verlade, I think his top guy on his board lasted all the way until his pick at 4. This is like
take him now, though,
somebody
Nick,
falls into your lap.
coming around my way. But I was a good sportsman.
All right, go ahead, Verlade.
See, when I think of best characters, I think about the greatest athletes, not necessarily the movie or that. My pick is Steve Nebraska.
Oh,
from The Scout. He can pitch. He can hit.
Oh.
He was the original Shohei Ohtani.
That is true.
Outside the box. You got back-to-back for Verlade.
I got back-to-back. Here's also outside the box. Movie I Spy. It's not really a sports movie, but there's an athlete in it played by Eddie Murphy. Kelly Robinson. 57-0. He fought twice in a week. Became 58-0. 58 knockouts.
JJ's a
0 right now. This man gonna be 58.
JJ, you're a big boxing guy. Has that ever happened? 2 fights in 1 week? Not who I thought you were going to go with, Chris.
You were going to have to take him because I was going to take him if not.
Same. All right.
All right, what do you got, JJ?
I'm going with the, I'll just let the sound do the talking. I'm going with the Mike Piazza, a fictional athlete.
Oh, yeah.
Parkman doing his little shimmy. It drives the women here in Cleveland crazy.
It drives the women here.
Jack Parkman. He is a perennial 42 home run hitter every single year, and you already know he was an Oakland Athletic, so I'm going Jack Parkman.
Solid pick.
All right. I'm going Ricky Bobby.
Damn it.
Doing it.
Really wanted Ricky Bobby.
Doing Ricky
on my
Bobby.
Team. Wow.
And nobody can hang with my stuff. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. You ain't first, you're last.
A big, hairy winning machine. Give me Ricky Bobby. I feel pretty good. Rocky Balboa. Something about the RB. Rocky Balboa and Ricky Bobby. All right. Rami, you got back-to-back.
2 picks, right?
Yep.
All right.
Make it good. Your last 2.
First, I'll go with Happy Gilmore.
Oh, Happy made it.
Multi-sport athlete.
Why didn't you just go home? You're home. Too good. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
And then tie-in, also in that movie, Apollo Creed. Give me Apollo Creed. Who also
get
played?
that look back, Rock.
Who also played Happy Gilmore?
Yes,
Coach.
He did.
I the Tiger. Come on.
I think he lost his hand. It was.
Yes, he did.
Eaten.
That damn gator.
All right, I got a lot of good ones on my list. I really, really do. All right. I'm going to go with a Happy Gilmore character as well, but I'm going to go with Shooter McGavin. No reaction to that. Thank you, Crickets.
I was drinking
I'll
coffee.
be here all week.
Sorry.
Thank you. Shooter McGavin. Thanks. It's a lot.
He never won that gold jacket.
I mean, he lost, yeah.
It's all right. I won this off of my 2 picks already.
Never a champ. At least not in that movie.
It is over. All right, JJ, last pick.
Yeah, I'm going with someone on the, I guess I'm taking the long haul here. I'm going with my guy, Neon Boudreaux from Blue Chips.
Yes.
The big fella.
If I couldn't play basketball, would you be trying to get me in college?
No.
At least you're honest.
At least you're honest.
Taking Neon. He was a swindler, first of all, a great basketball player, second of all, and he was guaranteed to drive the Buick. I'll take him.
All right, last pick of this week's draft. Verlade.
My pick, I'm going to have to go with Big Earn from Kingpin. He dominated the sport of boxing, dominated the sport of bowling for almost 20 years.
It's a really good pick.
And then he won the $1 million tournament.
Finally, Big Earn is above the law.
Mr. All Red Everything says Pedro Serrano from Major League.
Couldn't hit the curve.
Couldn't hit the curve, yeah.
Couldn't hit the curveball. Bleep you, Joe Boo. Woody Harrelson and Kingpin, Rocky, and Rambo. I don't know, Rambo's not really an athlete, but Waterboy, Happy Gilmore.
I was thinking about Louis Scott.
Bobby
from
Boucher
Celtic
is a
Pride.
good one.
Bobby Boucher is a good one. I had Drago, but I already went with Rocky, so I couldn't go with Drago after thinking about it. He does. I got Bill Hoyle. White Men
Billy
Can't
Hoyle.
Jump.
You missed, and you've been beat, well, not once, but twice by a slow, white, geeky chump.
Love that one. Lou Brown. Anybody
Brown,
got
yeah.
Major League Manager?
Better teach this kid some control before he kills somebody.
Well, you might run like Willie, but you hit like. This one, I'm surprised Ralad didn't go with this one, but Randy Robinson and the wrestler.
No. Wrestling. Come on. We were actually discussing earlier, should we go with Zeus?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Zeus.
He was the first winner of the Battle of the Tough Guys.
No Holds Barred, yeah.
Last one, White Goodman. Ben Stiller, dodgeball.
That's a good one.
We are also thinking of Willie Beeman.
I feel like everybody thought the good ones that I had were the ones I didn't choose. So there you have it. Snake draft in the books.
Beeman was high on my board.
My name is Willie. Willie Beeman. So there you have it. I won, like always. What would KD returning to Golden State do to his legacy? We'll talk about that next.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
Now, local businesses can get closer to every customer in their city with fast, affordable shipping. Introducing USPS Connect Local. You want speed? We deliver same or next day. You want savings? We give you supplies at a flat rate. You want less legwork? We do free pickups. Move your local business forward with the United States Postal Service. Let's connect at USPSconnect.com/local. Specific markets, restrictions apply. Same day or next day delivery expected, but not guaranteed with entry close to final destination.
Markets are doing this thing and that thing. Shelby, as I always say, you're the captain of the ship that gets everybody through those waters. What's going on over at United Wholesale Lending?
We are heavily focused on purchase business right now.
This is the time of year, I know. You would think more people go and see houses, but how is that working as opposed to rates scaring people? Are we still seeing that huge influx of people going out there?
Well, there's some more inventory that's coming onto the market, and the market is shifting from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Even with the interest rates going up, now the market is kind of softening up and making it easier for home buyers to get their offer accepted and also to get a better deal.
You can pre-approve them on the phone in under 15 minutes without even running their credit. But what you also do is you give them the exact things they need to knock out personally so that they can get into homes.
That's exactly right. We create a roadmap to get them in the position to buy a house.
RefinanceWithShelby.com. That's RefinanceWithShelby.com. NMLS number 279051. BRA number 01864354.
If you want to hit the golf ball farther and straighter, the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers you the opportunity to experience the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA Tour professionals. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is an indoor facility that opens onto the driving range so you can see your all-important ball flight. With the advantages of cutting-edge technology and analyzing your ball flight, the Hagen Oaks professional staff will make you a better player. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Kenny and Jerry from Bell Brothers, the no surprise guys. And when it comes to windows, nothing makes us happier than telling our customers no. That's no, as in no hard sales pitches. Our pressure-free quotes let you buy new home windows without the arm twisting. No pricing games. We give you a firm, fair quote the first time. No cutting corners. Our window installers are manufacturer certified and passionate about details. No lemons. We refuse to install cheap windows. Our windows are independently rated for premium energy efficiency and performance. And finally, no regrets. You get total peace of mind with our Windows buyback guarantee. Do you want beautiful, energy-efficient windows with no stress? Call Bell Brothers. And right now, you can save up to $2,350 on your new windows. That's based on an average size home with 8 windows and a slider. That's up to $2,350 off. But you have to call now. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
MVP's bonus days are here for pros. For 12 days, pros save big and MVPs get even more. Because MVP's Pro Rewards members can earn bonus points to redeem for rewards. Earn points on every dollar spent up to $1,000 and get up to 3 times more points when you shop select brands and products. Find MVP's bonus day savings from July 11th to the 22nd in-store and online. Exclusively at Lowe's. Exclusively for pros. MVP's Pro Rewards program subject to program terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/L/pro loyalty terms. Subject to change.
Sports are easy to disagree on. Let's see what happens when sports talk hosts talk about something they agree on.
No, hold on. I'm saying drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Well, I disagree. I think drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Come on, man. Wait, I think we're saying the same thing.
Oh, so what do we do now?
Everyone agrees that drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings by new customer surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2020 and May 2021. Potential savings will vary.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The flagship.
Ball game. Sacramento wins.
KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings. Just two guys rubbing elbows, talking sports,
and lots of other stuff.
They always keep you on edge.
That's really crazy interesting. It's Cattles Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
Yeah. Far Side for you. Love this song. By the way, before we get back to basketball, had a couple of texts come in, 916-339-1140. Last segment, we had our snake draft, fictional sports characters. Chaz Michael from Blades of Glory. Somebody text in.
The bad boy of figure skating.
Bad boy of figures, because we have so many of those in reality. Bad boy. And give me Hutchin from Undisputed. Love Wesley Snipes in that movie. Can't say that I've seen that movie. Anybody seen that movie? Undisputed.
Oh, Undisputed?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I don't think I have. No.
Thumbs up, thumbs down on that, JJ.
In the middle.
Indifferent.
I'm hitchhiking to the left or the right.
Indifferent.
Giving a Orange Cassidy thumbs up.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
A couple people on YouTube said Air Bud. We are remiss in not mentioning Air Bud.
Yeah, Air Bud.
He deserves at least an honorable mention.
Indeed.
It's a middle school basketball game, so.
Rest in peace, I'm assuming.
I mean, why do we have to go there?
I mean, I would go with Michael
Talk
J.
about
Fox
Air Bud dying? That turned really dark quick.
Can't still be alive, right?
It's like, Rami's like, I got a fact for you. Air Bud's dead. Dog's dead.
I don't know that to be a fact.
Next topic.
Like, how old is that movie? Air Bud's got to be no longer with us, right?
I don't think Air Bud's with us anymore.
Probably a final.
I mean, if you're gonna go school basketball, you go with Scott Howard from Teen Wolf.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, let's jump to something else because
I could talk about this all day.
I was gonna say we'll do this for another 20 minutes. Warriors, and Kevin Durant. Is this thing still alive? Is this thing still possible? KD going back to Golden State. Here's ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
Do I think it's likely? Do I think it's on the pie chart of things to happen? Do I think it's a big slice? I don't. But I also don't think that I should dismiss it based on what I'm being told.
So is it likely? Not going to go there, but don't dismiss it. Wendy had more on this.
Steph was willing to subjugate to Durant in the past. And this has been a discussion inside the Warriors organization. Curry has been asked about it, and Curry gave a non-answer. But he didn't shut it down. He didn't say hell no, which he has every right to do. Be like, no, I just won the finals MVP. No, we do not need to do Kevin Durant. We need to bring our team back together and try to repeat.
So Steph Curry, obviously being brought into these conversations. Windhorst is not the only guy talking about this, no, not the only NBA insider, because Rick Bucher jumped on the pile, and here's what he had to say about Steph, Durant, and the Warriors.
The distinction between the last time that KD was with him and where they are now is that Steph is so much older. He's 34. He knows that the window is now to winning championships. And the one thing that Steph has always been about is how do I win as many championships? Particularly now he's on the cusp of passing one LeBron James. And don't think there isn't a rivalry there or a desire by Steph after being dissed a little bit, not being allowed to eat at the at the lunch table of LeBron and Russ and KD, that he wouldn't love to end up with more championships. So if it means having KD come back in order to do that, he's all in.
Rami, KD goes back to Golden State. What's that do to his legacy? Does it kill it?
Where do you have KD right now?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Not to be too sports talk cliche.
I have no idea.
Is he on your Mount Rushmore?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I do not update my Mount Rushmore of NBA players.
You haven't updated your Mount Rushmore? No.
I don't usually do that.
All right. I mean, I don't think he's in there's the Jordan LeBron debate, right? There's that, and then there's like a bunch of other. For me personally, in my lifetime, it could be like Jordan, LeBron, and then KD right there at the top of that next tier. It could be when all is said and done. Like, he's been that good of a basketball player in my lifetime. But it does throw off the scales a little bit. Like when LeBron went to Miami,
right?
I went, well, how am I supposed to measure this guy against Michael Jordan or anybody else when he just ran to go play with two other Hall of Famers? It just throws off the scales a little bit and makes it hard for me to tell, like, how great is this guy? How much of it is him and how much of it is these guys that he went to go and join up with? And KD already has a little bit of that following him around from the only 2 championships that he's won being when he left Oklahoma City to go to Golden State, join a team that had already won 2 titles, and win it there while teaming up with Steph Clay and Draymond. If he has to go, like, of all the places, because every superstar is teaming up with superstars now, but of all the places where he could go to try and, like, reset this legacy or cement the legacy, however you want to put it, going back to Golden State, if he wins one there, the narrative will be, and KD hates this stuff, and if I tweeted this, he'd probably reply. Because
he'd be all over you.
Exactly. But, like, the narrative will be, whether I believe it or not, whether you believe it or not, Nick, that not only did he need another superstar to win a title, he needed that group of guys. He needed Steph Curry and Clay and Draymond to win a title. Like, that will be something that follows him prominently. Not unanimously. Not every person in the sports talking head world
of course not.
is going to feel that way. But that will be a prominent narrative and line of thought when it comes to Kevin Durant and his legacy.
He needed a particular set of skills, would you say,
Exactly.
surrounding him. Look, dude's a killer, and I think everybody would agree with that. Offensively, he's one of the best, most gifted players we've ever seen play the game. Defensively, he is really, really good, especially when he wants to be really good. He can shut dudes down. Playmaking ability. I mean, he has it all. Playmaking, offense, defense. People would argue, yeah, he went to Golden State, but he was the 2-time Finals MVP when he was there, so arguably he was the best player on that team. But he's never done it without a top 5 to 10 guy on his team. He's never won a championship without one of those guys. He needed Steph. And whether, that bothers you or not, it's a fact. And if he goes back to Golden State and wins again, it's going to be the same thing. And if you look, and it's one of those, like, I'm not a big, like, rings guy, right? Like, you can't tell me Dan Marino is not one of the best of all time because he has 0 rings. But
that's why Tom Brady's overrated.
When you that's another story for another day. When you look at the history of Durant, Oklahoma City had a tremendously talented team. Chokes out the lead and then goes to Golden State where, he just lost that series. He just choked the lead out too. But he had a ton of talent in Oklahoma City. Couldn't get it done. He could have stayed. I think if he stayed, they would have gotten it done. That's his right. Free agency. Go where you want to go. But he left an unbelievably talented team in Oklahoma City. Then he leaves Golden State, and the idea is he's going to Brooklyn because he wants to prove everybody wrong. He wants to prove to everyone that said, oh, you need those guys to win. He wanted to prove everybody wrong. Goes to Brooklyn, it falls apart. Now, I think KD's mistake was not going to Brooklyn. I think KD's mistake was picking Kyrie Irving to be the guy to go with.
To hit your star, too.
He picked the wrong guy. And then when you hear about where he wants to go now, even if it's not Golden State, his 2 favorite places, right? What do they have in common? They were 1 seeds last year. Phoenix. You look at, Miami. Phoenix was the favorite throughout the entire year. Miami was the 1 seed in the East with all of these injuries. So even if it's not Golden State, he's still handpicking the teams that won the most games last year. And that does make its way into the conversation. Still think he's a great player. But when you're threading needles, when you're talking about differences, they're not gigantic gaps when you talk about the top 10, 15 of all time. And inevitably, you talk about some of the intangibles. And KD is going to get knocked and criticized for the intangibles. Would I take him on my team? Yes. Do I think he's one of the best that's ever done it? Yes. But this is going to be part of his story. No matter if he likes it or not, it's going to. And you know what, Ramie? I almost respect it. Like, if he goes back to Golden State, I almost respect it because he knows he's going to get killed.
Thumbing his nose at the legacy makers.
Exactly. He knows. He knows he'll get killed if he goes there.
And I mean, that is true. There is the element of you kind of respect it, that he doesn't care what people say or what people think. And if he thinks that's the best move for him, he's going to go and do that. If that's where he thinks he can be the best player and the happiest, he's going to go do it. And damn you and whatever you might think or say about Kevin Durant. But man, that is what people will think and say. Again, not everybody, but a lot of people will think, man, this guy needed Golden State for as great a basketball player as he is. He needed Golden State to go and get those rings.
I think that's the reason why he won't go to Golden State, because he knows that.
Yeah. Like I said, if he does end up there, I actually kind of respect it because he's never going to hear the end of it. That's every single time he has an interview, he's going to hear that. So people are going to talk about that. He goes on Twitter, he's going to see it. Your thoughts? If KD did end up back in Golden State, for you, how does that affect his legacy? I think it impacts it. Ramie thinks it impacts it. It is going to be part of his story. And when you stack him up against other guys who have won championships in the NBA, that's going to be part of that story. Your thoughts? 916-339-1140 on the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. I see a lot of you reacting. YouTube, Sactown Sports 1140. We'll get to your reaction on that question. Also, Keegan Murray was the talk of Twitter last night. We'll give you a taste of that in 90 seconds.
Hey, you want easier access to the content you care about? You now have it. Sactownsports.com. A new way of covering the sports you love. A new digital world. The best and most expansive coverage of your local sports. Online at Sactownsports.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed small business. Local ownership cuts out the red tape while ensuring our staff has the autonomy to make the quick, respectable business decisions necessary to deliver on our promise to always exceed the expectations of our customers. The power of our local family team will help you with your business printing needs. Contact us today at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see Thor: Love and Thunder and IMAX 3D experience at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Trying to get you home after another long day and through the drive time afternoon traffic. Cattles Ramie, Sactown Sports 1140.
Don't forget, if you are on the YouTube channel, hello everybody in the YouTube world.
My camera angle.
How's it going?
Hate my camera angle.
How are you doing?
Because, I want to be looking right at the camera, but if I do that, I'm being rude to you, Nick, because you're over here to my left.
Well, if you do it every once in a while, like you just glance at it like I'm doing right now. Say hello to the YouTube people. Out there, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Don't forget to subscribe. I said this yesterday, and, as the program director of this station, now it's a hair across my tuchus. I'm going to keep bringing it up because it bothers me. But 66% of the people who watch us on YouTube and watch our content have yet to subscribe. If you like what Sactown Sports 1140 is doing, then when you're there, just click on that button and subscribe for us. And if you're watching the show click the thumbs up because that helps us as well.
Do I need to go sleeveless like McAfee? What's it going to take
No,
to get the subscribers?
I don't think
we need?
That's not going to help. You sleeveless will not help. None of us sleeveless will help.
I was in the gym today. Might help. Just saying.
That will not help. Anyway, about KD's legacy before we get to Keegan Murray reaction, because man, oh man, and rightfully so, a lot of people waxing poetic on Twitter about Keegan last night. We'll get to that in a couple minutes. But KD's legacy. Let's see. We've got Chris Evans. I don't see Durant returning. He'd catch all kinds of heck, and he thought it was bad when he first came over. I think he's the type of guy who'd carry a grudge as well and would have a difficult time. Dean says KD is good. He just does not make good decisions. Run DMG says KD is toxic. Rami, do you think KD's toxic?
No, not by any means. I don't think he's toxic at all. I think he's maybe the least toxic NBA superstar.
John C. says Durant will go back to Golden State if he can get Draymond traded to the Nets in the process, LOL. And then he said, hey, if he wants to go to a bad team and prove something, go home, go to D.C., play for Washington. But he doesn't want to do that, LOL.
I mean, go play for a terrible organization. That's how you're going to prove yourself. Nobody's going to win a championship with a terrible organization. I don't care how good you are. KD going to Washington would be a terrible choice. It would be a horrible career choice for Kevin Durant.
I mean, they do have Bradley Beal.
They've had Bradley Beal for a long time, and it hasn't been good.
They got Porzingis. How good is that team? Just for fun. Well, if you've got Beal, Porzingis, and KD.
Love for real?
I mean,
I'm not saying they're going to be great. I'm just wondering. Do you think that's a 50-win team? Is that a 45-win team?
Yeah, 45-50 win, somewhere in there. Yeah, they're a playoff team.
Just wondering. By the way, Dean also chats in. People acting like they got to pay $49.99 LOL. Yeah, you don't have to pay. You just got to click on subscribe. Rich Ficker says, go back to OKC and be a hero. Thanks to all those YouTube.com. Don't forget, Sactown
that would
Sports,
be a good move.
1140. Before we get to Keegan, let's go to Jim. Jim wants to talk about KD. Hey, Jim.
Hi, guys. Hey, I think that KD is a great basketball player, but nobody really respects his championships. Although we all admit he's a great player, but the way he went to the Warriors, it kind of screws up just even watching the finals when he's in it. Not necessarily, but I just don't respect the titles that the Warriors got without him. The last time they played, I really got off on how they won their title, but the ones where he went and joined the team,
It's interesting, Jim. It's an interesting point. Thanks for calling and listening to the show, bud. We appreciate you. It is an interesting point, Rami, though. Like, watching that Warriors team, and obviously it was against the Celtics, so I wasn't all pumped and jacked about it. But that run, you look at it, it definitely hit different. I think a lot of people out there are like, oh, this is a great story. Like, they've come back from injury. They're in their 30s. They're proving everybody wrong. And if KD goes back, people are going to be like, here we go. I think they'd be the most hated team in the NBA.
I mean, it was good basketball, obviously. You know what I mean? When you had those Warriors teams, and regardless of who it was that they were facing, it was good basketball. But there is, I don't know, something about it that makes it a little less enjoyable, especially when you knew, like, going into a season, well, it's going to be LeBron versus the Warriors for like 4 or 5 seasons straight.
Right.
You just knew it was going to be the season finale was LeBron versus the Warriors. And then things would get good and things would get interesting. You know what I mean? But it was just that element of, well, we kind of know who's going to be there. And on some level, you almost knew who was going to win when they added Kevin Durant.
There's a part of me that thinks when KD went to Golden State the first time around, if there is a second time, I think he believed that LeBron had already taken the bullets. I don't know if he expected as much criticism and, online hate as he got for making that move. I don't think he truly appreciated how that would make basketball fans angry. I think he looked at LeBron and said, oh, well, he had the decision and, this isn't as bad as that. And he was wrong. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports, 1140. One more text here. I don't think KD will ever stay healthy for more than 50 games again. I've made that point. People going crazy about how much they would trade for KD. And look, I think if you're a contender and you don't have to deal like more than one vital piece, and you can argue that you can win a championship with KD, then it's a move that you make. But I think the vast majority of teams should be out of this thing. He's 34 years old. He's on the books for a lot of money, and he's been banged up an awful lot. Let's get to Keegan Murray. Brilliant last night. Absolutely brilliant last night. His best game in the Summer League. There's no doubt about that. He was aggressive early. He was in the paint an awful lot. Took a ton of free throws, 9 free throws in the first half. Exactly what you wanted to see. And people were reacting, Ramie, last night. Ben Stevens, morning after radio show, tweeted out, all right, I've seen enough. I've just bet Keegan Murray plus 800 to win the NBA Rookie of the Year. Connor McCaffrey
Is it plus 800?
Well,
on Keegan Murray?
For one of the sports books that I do not need to mention. I don't want to be, this is Connor McCaffrey, I don't want to be that guy, but Keegan is just absolutely destroying Chet. We mentioned that. Chet disappeared last night. Dane Moore, who is a writer and podcaster for the Timberwolves. Do you know Dane Moore at all?
I have spoken to Dane Moore.
Okay,
yes.
He tweeted out, far fewer people here for Chet versus Keegan than there were for Chet versus Jabari, but for some reason I'm still here and can report Murray looked awesome in this one. Pretty clearly the best player on the floor while being guarded by Chet all game long.
Put him in the bucket a couple of times, man.
He did. Alex Kramer's tweet, he's from Kings.com. Murray's averaging 24 points a game in Summer League, puts him fourth among all players. The only 3 guys ahead of him have had NBA experience: Cam Thomas, Moses Moody, and Trey Murphy. And I think, look, you're a Kings fan, pumped and jacked, be ecstatic. We're very happy here at Sactown Sports 1140. We feel like the Kings are a good basketball team. When they're good, obviously we have their games, and you know, we want them to win. We're objective, but we want them to win because if they win, that means we do better. Just being transparent. And I think a lot of us are excited for this basketball team to at least compete this year. But with that said, Ramie, we've seen a lot of Summer League action. I want to give you a quick readiness meter when it comes to the top 5 picks and what I saw. So let's hit some music here. And I'll start with 5. I'll give you the guys, you know, when I look at the top 5 picks, who do I think is most pro-ready? 5th, I would say Jabari Smith. He looked uncomfortable on offense at times. I think he has less overall game than Chet Holmgren has right now. So I would put Jabari Smith at 5. And again, it's Summer League. I'm not saying this is how they'll end up 10 years from now. But from what I have seen, guys who are going to impact right away.
The definitive and final ranking of these guys.
This is it. So
in their NBA careers.
I will never talk about these players again. This is my take for the rest of eternity. So I got Jabari at 5. At 4, I've got Chet. In like a lion, out like a lamb. His first game, dude looked like a machine. And since then, he's just had these periods and long stretches of ineffectiveness. And last night, after the first quarter, he was invisible for 2.5 quarters.
And he will get pushed around, man.
He will.
I just don't see any way around that.
No.
Like, he's facing Summer League competition right now and getting bodied sometimes. He's going to get straight bullied when this thing is real.
He's not going to put 30 pounds of muscle on like in 1 year or 2 years, and maybe even ever. Highly skilled, though. I still think he's highly skilled. If he can stay healthy, I think he's going to be good. 3 on my list is Jaden Ivey. And, you know, if not for the injury, I don't know where he would be on this list. Because that second Summer League game in the first 5 minutes, dude dropped 11 points. Looked like he was going to go out there and score 35 on that night. But Ivey had an injury, cut it short, so I'd put Ivey at 3. Number 2, Paolo Banchero. More than I expected to his skill level in his game, his passing ability, his handles. You know, if he can find a 3-point shot with consistency, he's going to be unstoppable on offense. And I actually thought he did pretty well on defense, all things considered. So Paolo's my number 2.
Does him being the number 1 pick make more sense to you now than it did on draft day?
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, I liked Paolo a lot going into the draft. I called him, you know, Carmelo Anthony before the draft. And, you know, it looks like he has, you know, maybe a little bit more skill than Carmelo. I mean, Carmelo was a straight-up scorer when he came into the league. Looks like Paolo could do some stuff. And he's like 6'10", 250. You want to talk about NBA bodies, Chet not having one? Paolo has one right now.
Yes.
And so does the number 1 guy on my list, which is an obvious one, Keegan Murray. Domination. Absolute domination. It's Summer League. It's Summer League. We know we're not putting too much into it, but he's playing against guys who are at his level. He's playing with similar talent. He played against Paolo Banchero. He played against Chet last night. He played against Matherin on Sunday. And he just dominated. So Keegan's my number one guy. So 5 is Jabari, 4 is Chet, 3 is Ivy, 2 is Paolo, and 1, of course, is Keegan Murray. It's fantastic summer league, and he is going to play tomorrow night, if you're wondering. Jason Anderson reported that earlier. Speaking of reporters, speaking of people close to the Kings, we'll talk summer league. We'll talk off-season moves. Will there be more of them for Monty McNair? We'll have all that with Sean Cunningham coming up next.
Cattles and Ramie. Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
What's your name? I am Nathan. This is Sean. This is Wanye. And we are Boys to Men.
The greatest R&B group of all time is back. Boys to Men in concert. Saturday, July 30th, Thunder Valley Outdoor Amphitheater with High Five, Father MC, and Shy. Tickets on sale now. For the summer concert schedule and to purchase tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Boys to Men.
Start your summer grilling season with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from California Backyard. The Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill turns any chef into a pro. You'll never want to cook indoors again once you experience Napoleon. The grill's built to last. The perfect gift for dads and grads. You can check out Napoleon grills today at any of the 4 nearby California Backyard locations. Always the best in backyard living. See their huge selection of Napoleon grills and accessories at Napoleon.com.
The new Fords have arrived at Folsom Lake Ford. I know you've been waiting for a new F-150 or maybe an Explorer or Expedition. Guess what? Folsom Lake Ford has them. Your truck headquarters for over 30 years right here in Sacramento is all stocked up with new Fords and used vehicles. Save with low interest financing on your favorite new models and 0 down deals available on all new and used vehicles with approved credit. Get top dollar for your trade, making your monthly payment on your new Ford even lower. Folsom Lake Ford is the only dealership I recommend to my friends. A Triple Crown Award winner for sales, service, and finance. Highway 50 Folsom exit, or browse fresh inventory online at folsomlakeford.com. It's updated almost daily. And if you can't find what you're looking for, give them a call. Tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right, but many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. And with helpful representatives just a call away, it's easy to understand why Pi is rated excellent by customers on Trustpilot. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
One guy's trying not to throw furniture.
That's a personal foul.
While the other's still trying to find some. Cattles and Ramie. Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
That's still true, isn't it?
I found it.
You found it.
It's in Chicago.
What a thing. This moving company has had your furniture for what? 13 days, and they moved it from Milwaukee to Chicago.
To Chicago.
A whole 2
I
hours.
hate them so much.
My word.
Oh, my God.
All right, let's bring on a friend of the program from Fox 40, Sean Cunningham, to talk some Kings, Cattles Ramie, Sactown Sports 1140. Sean, as always, we thank you for your time, my man. Are you surprised that Keegan's going to play tomorrow night after proving what he's proved down in Vegas?
That's a tough question to answer, actually, because after speaking with Mike Brown, no. I think the ones that they're, like, I'd be a little bit more surprised would be, like, if it was Neemias Queta or something like that, because the guy who's, been a little bit banged up and someone who's already kind of gone through the experience of Summer League before and been on that championship team last season. But, no, I think especially the way they want to get some looks with Keegan, with guys like Keon Ellis with the ball in his hands and being a little bit more of a point guard and what that kind of looks like, and just kind of getting some sample sizes. I think the minutes could reduce a little bit, but no, I don't know. I'm not really surprised he's going to give it a go on Friday.
What's been most surprising about Keegan Murray's game in the Summer League to you so far?
I think the most surprising thing is just his temperament, man. Like, I don't think I'm not surprised by how he's played. I use this analogy a lot when guys will talk about how, you watch a young player get and maybe hit that rookie wall, or all of a sudden find a little bit more of a groove, go into the second year and show some progress, and say, the game has slowed down for the guy. Guys, like, I feel like he's still going to have moments where that'll be the case, but I kind of feel like it's already there, man. Like he kind of, I was talking to some people down here, and some of them viewed it as a bad thing, meaning that he wasn't so assertive right off the bat and could do a little bit more to be more assertive, particularly on the offensive end.
Right.
But they use the analogy of just letting the game come to him as if that's a bad thing. I kind of think it's a good thing, especially right on now, because he's playing with a bunch of guys. He's only been around for a couple weeks. And if you look at what this looks like with actual NBA players and ones that can move the ball, like De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, like, that to me looks promising. Like, he's got this temperament that's got a calm fluidity to it. Now, obviously, there's moments where he's turning the ball over, and that's because he's not playing with NBA players. Maybe he's forcing some things and wants to be a good teammate. You can probably chalk that up as well. But even when he struggles to shoot the ball, he's so impactful. And I know, look, I don't want to take too much away from Summer League. I'm just kind of answering the question because I'm not a guy that takes a lot out of Summer League. But the only thing I want to take away from Summer League is, does the guy look like he belongs? That's the part that wasn't surprising to me, because of course he does. But I feel like, to me, it's just this fluidity, this calmness, this zen, if you will, and just has an incredible feel for the game. I think that's what kind of stands out, even when he plays poorly.
Sean Cunningham is with us. Sean, from who you've spoken with down in Vegas, or maybe just your own opinion, do you see Keegan more as a 3 or a 4 at the NBA level? I think he can play, both in some spots, but if you were to put him in one spot and say you're staying there and playing 35 minutes a night, is it the 3 or the 4?
To me, it would be the 4, but I think it also just depends on who's around him.
Yes.
For example, I was talking to some folks, like, we all know that the Kings are going to remain very active in trade searches, market, kind of know the market of their players and have that optionality to try to move and strike when the iron's hot, maybe, latch onto it as a third team or whatever. They're exploring possibilities, and of course you hear the names of Rashawn Holmes, Harrison Barnes, things of that nature. But much like when we had rumors and reports of Marvin Bagley and Buddy Hield being traded for the longest time, and it never, came to fruition until just this past February, there's a world that exists where both those players are on the team. Alex Len, you have those players on the team, and you can totally see. Although I'm not saying that I would go with it, but you could totally see a world that exists where you have a starting center of Rashawn Holmes, Domantas Sabonis at the 4, Harrison Barnes at the 3, Kevin Huerter at the 2, and De'Aaron Fox at the 1.
That's a big team.
That's a big team, and everyone wants length. Everyone tries to emulate Milwaukee, and with Keegan constantly trying to, he's asked, who do you model your game after? And a lot of times, especially, you get that mind's eye of Chris Middleton. I feel like he's more comfortable with the 4, but all the while, the ability to guard multiple positions, and all you have to look at is whoever scheduled these Vegas Summer League games for the Kings was a genius, in my opinion, because you're going up against the likes of Paolo Banchero in night 1. The next night you've got Benedict Mathurin, a 2 or maybe even a 3, depending upon where you have him. But he's defending both those guys.
Yep.
almost exclusively. And then you get the unicorn in Chet Holmgren, who's just massive and, provides so many different types of challenges. And, I think he played well in pretty much every one of those, even if he didn't shoot very well. I mean, he was so impactful in the game. So I think, to answer the question, definitely a 4, especially the way he can shoot the ball and stretch the floor and his spacing. But he's also like that point forward, that Grant Hill, Scottie Pippen, where he can play make off the dribble. He can advance the ball, take the ball out of Fox's hands, get into the front court, and then have the ability to guard 1 through 3, or really 3 and 4 exclusively, and possibly the ability to guard the 2 as well.
Outside of Murray, who on this Kings Summer League roster, in your opinion, has done the most to help their stock or their chances of making the roster or their placement on the roster?
Yeah, I mean, the one that just shoots off the page to me is Keon Ellis. And it's not necessarily what he brings on the defensive end, and although that has been incredibly fun to watch. I mean, the guy is just an absolute bulldog, and you can just kind of see, maybe it's not this year because he's a two-way player and he'll probably be in Stockton for, significant portion of the season. But you can see a world that exists where him and Davion Mitchell together will just be a whole lot of fun. But It's really the way he's been able to shoot the ball from the perimeter. I mean, the guy's shooting like 50%. That corner 3, he's completely confident in that corner 3. And I know it's a small sample size, but he just looks incredibly comfortable to be able to shoot the ball. His biggest Achilles heel, and this is kind of going back to the initial question about why Keegan Murray could play or is playing on Friday and why that could be surprising, is because the area of growth for Keon Ellis is certainly as a playmaker and as a ball handler, because he's kind of turnover prone, point guard, being a guy who can advance the ball and kind of get teammates going. The turnovers are definitely a concern. So I think they want to have a sample size there, but man, he looks like he belongs. He's been probably the most impressive to me out of all of them, because I already kind of knew what to expect from Keegan Murray in terms of what he brings to the table.
I'm with you on that, Sean. Every time I watch Keon Ellis, the more I like him. And I agree with you about the three-point shot. He shot like 37% in college. Would it translate? Well, in the Summer League it did. Last one for you, Sean. You mentioned this, that you guys down there and gals down there are talking about possible moves that can happen. We know that Monty and Domas have gone on the record saying that, the Kings might not be done. Should we anticipate a move or a couple of moves before camp?
Yeah, it's eerily familiar to last season, right? Because that was what we were expecting all off season, and then that move didn't happen until February.
Right.
So I don't know really what to expect. I know that they're going to be active and they're going to try, and they won't do anything until they like the deal or until somebody gets desperate or what have you. I don't think they're going to have any disparity on their end. I just think they're going to try to see what options exist and kind of get the talks moving. But I think everything's kind of at a standstill until, at least what it feels like, with KD and Kyrie probably going back to Brooklyn. I mean, I guess there's a question mark there, but it just feels eerily familiar to Ben Simmons last year, where that just kind of clogged everything because everyone was anticipating that move and nobody really wanted to move until that shook out. And now you've got what Deandre Ayton did today with his offer sheet. I mean, there's certainly things that are progressing, but I feel like we're just at the standstill, and a lot of things might shake out once people get out of Vegas, and August usually shuts down, so usually there's not too much movement there. So I can see it. I can also see it getting into the season and just, let them rolling the dice, and not just the Kings, other teams saying, let's just roll the dice and see what we have. And, if you get into 25, 30 games into the season and you're a little bit better than you thought, then you might be a little bit more aggressive.
Great stuff, Sean. We appreciate you. Let's do it again soon, my man.
I can't wait. And Ramie, welcome to town. And if I could real quick, I'm just exporting now. You guys got the first interview with Mike Brown. I was very jealous about that, by the way.
Oh.
I'm exporting the interview right now, so I'll have a full sit-down with Mike Brown coming up later tonight.
Nice.
So if anyone wants to see it,
there you go.
We'll have it on fox40.com.
Check it out, fox40.com, our friend Sean. Thanks again, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, guys.
There goes Sean Cunningham, one of the best in the business when it comes to the Kings. Knows that organization in and out. I think he has us beat with exclusives, by the way, Sean. I think he's had a few more than we've had, by the way.
Maybe one or two.
Hey, what did an NFL executive have to say about Deebo Samuel that got me thinking? Find out next.
It's Cattles. It's Ramie.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Greetings, Sacramento. It's Doug Christie here with the Good Feet store asking, when was the last time you did something nice for your feet? If you're like most people, your feet get attention only when there's a problem. That can mean something painful, maybe real painful, like plantar fasciitis. That was me. I counted on my feet to make a living, but ignored them until almost too late. Fortunately, I found the Good Feet store, got my free personalized fitting and test walk, and in 20 minutes, I left with my expertly fit Good Feet 3-step arch support system. The pain was no more, and my feet have never felt so comfortable. I'm a Good Feet believer, and you can be too. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, and Modesto. Online at goodfeet.com.
MVP's bonus days are here for pros. For 12 days, pros save big and MVPs get even more. Because MVP's Pro Rewards members can earn bonus points to redeem for rewards. Earn points on every dollar spent up to $1,000 and get up to 3 times more points when you shop select brands and products. Find MVP's bonus day savings from July 11th to the 22nd in-store and online. Exclusively at Lowe's. Exclusively for pros. MVP's Pro Rewards program subject to program terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/L/pro loyalty terms. Subject to change.
Sports are easy to disagree on. Let's see what happens when sports talk hosts talk about something they agree on.
No, hold on. I'm saying drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Well, I disagree. I think drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Come on, man. Wait, I think we're saying the same thing.
Oh, so what do we do now?
Everyone agrees that drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings by new customer surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2020 and May 2021. Potential savings will vary.
In the wee hours of the night, when everyone else is fast asleep, you're the one on third shift, burning the midnight oil. When a part fails and everything comes to a grinding halt, regardless of what the clock on the wall says, you leap into action. Grainger is with you and all the ones who get it done. With 24/7 customer support by phone or click to chat. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave talking about my friends at American Energy. $49 tune-up offer. I did it 2 weeks ago. You should do it too. It's only $49 for an air conditioning tune-up, and you get a free indoor air quality test. Oh, it's so simple. Call today to schedule your appointment with my local friends at American Energy at 916-520-9990. Catch the 916 there, 520-9990. A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. Been around since 81. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com.
The new spot for local sports talk in the afternoon. Cattles and Ramie.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports 1140.
There's a side comment out of nowhere, but before I forget this, I had this in my brain.
Scary.
So I was driving to work today, and there was somebody who looked hardcore, you know what I mean? Like, looked like a dude that you didn't really want to mess with.
Right.
The tattoos and all, the muscle shirt. All those kinds of things going on there. And he was just eating a vanilla ice cream cone. And I just thought about, like, juxtapositions, like how somebody who looks so hardcore is just having an ice cream cone on a Thursday.
We all enjoy a good ice cream cone on a hot day,
like,
Nick.
it doesn't matter, man.
That's a great equalizer.
You could be the hardest of the hard,
no
but
matter
man,
how much of a badass you are.
Give me some vanilla ice cream.
Ice cream cone on a hot day.
And if you get the rainbow sprinkles on it, even better.
And then it starts dripping down your hand, and you're like, you just look like anybody else.
That's it.
Exactly.
There are equalizers, man.
It's a great equalizer.
Ice cream, bowel movements, they equalize everybody. No matter how great you are, rich you are, no matter how hardcore you are, ice cream and bowel movements.
That's true.
My friend told me one time he was at a grocery store. He goes, everyone has to get groceries at some point.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Everybody's got to poop sometimes. That's what happens.
Everyone poops.
At least that's what I've been told. If not, then you have some big time trouble. By the way, no better segue to tell you about the Open Championship coverage we have here at Sactown Sports 1140. It's brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. And my man chose the vanilla ice cream cone today. I was just driving. I just love that. Like, this guy looks like he wants to beat up the world, but he's just like peacefully walking down the street having some ice cream.
They'll bring anybody down.
Like he's 8 years old again, just loving it.
I want an ice cream cone.
We've talked all basketball today, and we will get back to all basketball next hour. However, two stories that came out about the Niners that we wanted to hit here, Ramie, quickly. Deebo, breaking news, no contract extension yet. Still a 49er, no new contract. And there was an ESPN poll, and Jeremy Fowler does this every year. He did one on quarterbacks, wide. He does it on like every position. Mm-hmm. Although I don't think he's breaking down offensive linemen. So like he takes a poll of executives around the league. All right, who's your top receiver? Who's your top quarterback? And he builds the rankings. And I found this interesting. He spoke to an NFL executive about Deebo. And the executive said, quote, as a pure wide receiver, I'm not sure where to put him, unquote, on the list, obviously. And this kind of got me thinking. At this point, Ramie, would you sign Deebo to a contract extension, or would you let this thing ride?
If I could come to some sort of reasonable agreement, yeah, I'd try to get him signed under a long-term deal. But at the same time, I have all the leverage if I'm the San Francisco 49ers, and I'm not caving to any trade demands. That's first and foremost. And secondly, like the urgency is not with me to get a long-term deal done if I'm the San Francisco 49ers brain trust and the powers that be. The urgency is on the end of Deebo Samuel because he's the one who's going to run out there every week starting in September, October, and risk life and limb and potentially never getting that long-term big-time payday. If I'm the 49ers, I have contractual control of this guy for 3 more years. 1 more year under his current deal, franchise tag, and another year that I can franchise tag him after that. You want to play hardball, we can play hardball, or we can come to some kind of agreement that we're all happy to. Yeah, I'd try to get him locked up, but again, on my terms and not on his.
Yeah, I mean,
get man his money.
I feel like going back a couple of months ago, I was leaning towards, get the deal done. If you got to get the deal done for Trey Lance and everybody. But now it's dragged on. A couple of things have changed the sea to me when we talk about this whole contract negotiation with Deebo. Number one, we're now in the middle of July. Like, you're 2 weeks away from camp. It is what it is at this point. It seems like he wants more than you're willing to give, because if he didn't want more than you're willing to give, the extension would have been done months ago. Mm-hmm. The fact that it hasn't been, and all the other receivers aside from DK Metcalf that we talked about wanting extensions, got those extensions, it feels like Deebo's number is not the number you want. The other thing about this, you just mentioned it, Ramie, like this is going to be on him, right? It's going to be on him. He's risking life and limb. And the Niners now know he's not going to hold out. At least it doesn't feel like he's going to hold out. He showed up to mandatory minicamp. There's been zero signal of him not showing up to training camp in a couple of weeks. So if he's not going to hold out, why is there any urgency from the Niners to get this deal done? Like, if he's going to play the season out, then you let him play the season out, because you can still franchise him the next 2 years. So you're not going to lose anything. And I look at the receiver market and all of these big-time deals. I'll tell you, the best value in the NFL right now is finding a young receiver on a decent, cheap deal, on a rookie contract. It's not going to get to that level because QBs are QBs, they're isolated, but it's getting closer to the value you get from drafting a quarterback and having him on that rookie deal. The wide receiver position has been so ridiculously deep the last 3 years in the draft, and I don't think that's going to change. That's the evolution of the game. Teams are throwing the football constantly now. College offenses throwing the football 1 billion times a year. So I don't feel any urgency if I'm John Lynch. I'm going to let this thing play out. I trust my coach. I trust Shanahan and his scheme. And, I'll let this thing ride and see what happens. The other thing I wanted to ask you about was Trey Lance. Cattles Ramie, Sactown Sports 1140. RG3 was on the 49ers Talk podcast with Matt Mayoko from NBC Sports Bay Area. And here's what Robert Griffith III had to say about Kyle Shanahan.
I think it is a growth moment
right? I've had to have growth moments in my own life, and I'm only 32 years old, so I had to have my growth moments and learn from my mistakes that I made, and I think that Kyle is doing the same thing. This is a growth moment for him. He realizes that, yes, I am, let's call it what it is, he's a control freak, right? He wants to control everything. He wants to control every aspect of the offense, and they drill you so hard in practices, OTAs, training camps, so that you know, like a machine, this is where I'm supposed to go with the ball. This is what I'm supposed to do in certain situations. And maybe he's understanding that sometimes you need that guy that can just make a play for you. And he's got a guy in Trey Lance who's extremely smart, extremely athletic, and has a very strong arm. He can run both systems. He can run what I ran, and he can run what Jimmy Garoppolo runs, and that's what the 49ers need.
Griffin also called for more aggressiveness from Shanahan, saying he's got to keep the foot on the pedal with Lance at quarterback. How much would you put on Trey Lance this year if he's your QB1 like we all expect him to be? If you're Shanahan, how much are you putting on his plate?
Whatever is his comfort zone, and that can be a different thing for every different guy. You know what I mean? Some guys' comfort zone is a million miles an hour, and just throw me in there and let's open up the whole playbook and let me have at it. Some guys' comfort zone is let me ease into this thing. Let me find my footing. Let me find what I'm good at and what I'm bad at, and let's design things around that. And one thing that I've always been from a distance, and now I guess I'll see it more up close, Nick, that I've always been kind of impressed with when it comes to Kyle Shanahan is his ability to work with what he's got and design not just his offensive game plan, but the entirety of the game plan and all the pieces that fit together, the way that his defense plays, the way that his special teams plays, and how they all complement each other to put together a really good puzzle and not going outside of what his guys are good at. That all starts with the quarterback, and we saw how he catered this offense to Jimmy Garoppolo and his limitations and his strengths. I have the utmost confidence that whatever Trey Lance is, and we don't know, none of us know because of the limited looks that we got at him in college, and obviously not a lot at the pro level yet either. Whatever he is, whoever he is, at this point, Kyle Shanahan will design this offense and this team to maximize that. And I'm pretty highly confident. We'll see if that changes after seeing him more up close and analyzing what Kyle Shanahan does more up close now that I'm here in Sacramento. But I'm pretty confident that he'll get the most out of this kid overall, big picture, when all is said and done. Right. And whatever his ceiling is, he'll hit it under Kyle Shanahan.
I just ask for patience. And it kind of falls in line with what you're saying. Like, I would not want to overwhelm Trey Lance early on. We have to remember his background, what his history is, the level of competition he played against in college, the limited games he played in college. I think you go slowly but surely with him, and you give him what he needs in that moment. The 49ers have structure, and that's what you're talking about, Ramie. When you talk about Shanahan and building a system, that's what they have. They have structure, and they'll run the football effectively. They will play really good defense for the most part, and I think they will slowly develop Lance even as he's playing Sunday to Sunday this season. And when you talk about being aggressive with Lance, well, look, any level of aggression will be more aggression than you had with Jimmy G. Like, you are going to be more aggressive with Lance than you were with Jimmy G because you were not aggressive with Jimmy G whatsoever. First of all, you couldn't be because he doesn't have the arm strength. Second of all, I don't think they trusted him. And when you play in a playoff game and you have your quarterback throw 8 times, that tells you everything you need to know. And I know they ran for a bazillion yards, but still, even when teams run the football a ton, you could look at the Tennessee Titans when Derrick Henry's run the football a ton. Ryan Tannehill's still throwing more than 8 passes. They didn't trust Jimmy G. They really went bare bones kind of offense with him. So I don't think it's crazy to think that Trey Lance might end up being asked to do more as we get closer, to the midpoint of the season. But I do think they'll be patient, and they have to be patient. You don't want to be throwing too much at them. 916-339-1140 is the text line. Phone line is 1-800-920-1140. Don't forget YouTube, Sactown Sports 1140. Following us on Twitter as well is a good idea, at Sactown 1140. All right, is it crazy? Is it crazy to already change your mind about Keegan Murray based off of what you've seen at the Summer League? Like, believing he's already better than you thought he was?
Oh, you're loco, man.
We'll talk about if we are or not. That's coming up.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
Now, local businesses can get closer to every customer in their city with fast, affordable shipping. Introducing USPS Connect Local. You want speed? We deliver same or next day. You want savings? We give you supplies at a flat rate. You want less legwork? We do free pickups. Move your local business forward with the United States Postal Service. Let's connect at USPSconnect.com/local. Specific markets, restrictions apply. Same day or next day delivery expected, but not guaranteed with entry close to final destination.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. What's going to make this, the summer event, the best yet?
Saving you up to $10,000 off MSRP on the all-new 2022 Jeep Wagoneer. These things are really nice, and everyone's trying to get their hands on one. We have over 20 available, and you won't find a better deal anywhere else. When my wife saw these getting here, she told me it was time for an upgrade.
Happy wife, happy life, I guess. Hey, what about those Jeep Gladiators I'm starting to see everywhere?
Oh yes, the Jeep truck. Those things are really cool. Right now, save up to $2,500 off MSRP on the new 2022 Jeep Gladiator Rubicons. Every person I talk to that has one of these loves it. Definitely worth checking it out.
Well, there's no better place to do it than Hoblet Dodge in historic downtown Woodland, except maybe HobletDodge.com, where you can search, select, and save through their entire inventory. Hoblet Dodge, best prices, best selection, period.
$10,000 total net savings on new 2022 Wagoneer Series 2 after $5,000 factor rebates and $5,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include $5,000 Conquest bonus cash. Must own or lease non-FCA group vehicle. $2,500 total net savings on new 2022 Gladiator Rubicons after $2,500 dealer discount. 5 each net savings. See dealer for details.
Sunrise Natural Foods wants to remind you that having a strong immune system has never been more important than it is today as we battle a global pandemic. Here at Sunrise, many of our customers are asking how they can boost their immune systems to stay healthy. Fortunately, there are many supplements that have shown to be beneficial for improving immunity, and we have the largest selection of supplements in town. Stop by our stores to check out our April savings. Sunrise Natural Foods, made with life's best ingredients.
When there's trouble in the bedroom, it can hurt more than just your confidence. It can hurt your marriage or dating life. Not knowing if you'll be able to perform at any moment doesn't help either. Pacific Men's Clinic can help. Go to the clinic that specializes in one thing, making your love life the best it can be by solving the problem at its source. Pacific Men's Clinic's non-invasive procedure. It's safe and pain-free. Call 916-545-7577 for your free consultation now. That's 916-545-7577.
The new Fords have arrived at Folsom Lake Ford. I know you've been waiting for a new F-150 or maybe an Explorer or Expedition. Guess what? Folsom Lake Ford has them. Your truck headquarters for over 30 years right here in Sacramento is all stocked up with new Fords and used vehicles. Save with low interest financing on your favorite new models and zero down deals available on all new and used vehicles with approved credit. Get top dollar for your trade, making your monthly payment on your new Ford even lower. Folsom Lake Ford is the only dealership I recommend to my friends. A Triple Crown Award winner for sales, service, and finance. Highway 50 Folsom Exit, or browse fresh inventory online at folsomlakeford.com. It's updated almost daily. And if you can't find what you're looking for, give them a call. Tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
For many golfers, the thrill of the challenge is what keeps them coming back. But what would be your icing on the golf cake? Maybe if you're new to the game, breaking a score of 100 would make you happy, or breaking the other magical numbers of scoring less than 90, 80, or even 70. Maybe you'd like to play a round without any double bogeys, or better, play a round with a birdie, or even an eagle at 2 under par. Now, I'd like to hit a couple of par 5s in 2 shots, or make back-to-back birdies. Lowering your handicap is a good goal, or maybe even get to a single-digit handicap. When you remember that golf is a game and supposed to be fun, maybe your goal can be simpler, like being a good partner on the course. Fill a few divots and fix some ball marks and leave the golf course better than you found it. And laugh. Laughter's very good for the mind and a great way to relieve any tension in your swing. And with the odds stacked against you, maybe you'd be satisfied to make a hole-in-one. With the odds at 12,500 to 1, that would be pretty cool. Have fun out there. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Sactown Sports 1140's coverage all week long of the 150th playing of the Open Championship is proudly brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
The flagship.
Ball game, Sacramento wins.
KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings. It's the new spot for local sports talk in the afternoon. Cattles and Ramie.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the last hour of radio that I'll be doing for more than a week. Feels kind of weird. I'm off on vacation Monday through Wednesday of next week. Then we have no show on Thursday. And then I got a doctor's appointment. A little medical procedure going on Friday.
I love rumors.
Yeah. You don't. No, we're not going to go to what medical procedure it is. You don't even want to know. It's a very unpleasant one. Let's just put it that way.
Well, now we know.
Yeah, very unpleasant.
Right.
So,
Please would be nice.
it would be. It would be. Well played, Ron. Well played, Ron. So yeah, final hour of my radio stuff going on. By the way, I'm going to Santa Cruz this weekend and early next week.
Yeah.
Not really.
No? I don't know.
So if anybody's got suggestions, I tweeted out at Nick C Radio. If you got like a cool place you've gone to or a couple places, tweet them at me at Nick C Radio, because obviously it's the first time that Kelly and I will be at Santa Cruz. I was just looking at the weather. It's like 75 and sunny when we're there, which is fantastic.
So you have no plans for this trip?
Well, what we do is we kind of start with a list of places that we think we'll like. You know, we like go online or we talk to people and then we kind of jot them down. We haven't really kind of set the, Bobby De Niro Meet the Fockers itinerary yet. That'll probably happen tonight and over the next day or so.
All right.
But we're really we're easy when it comes to planning stuff because, bars, restaurants, breweries, wineries, some stuff to go sightseeing. But I'm not really an adventurous soul. I'm not gonna be like jumping out of planes or doing any of that stuff. I'm just kind of like my feet firmly on the ground. And so I know that the boardwalk and stuff, so we'll hit the boardwalk and all that. But really, honestly, it's like the first time since I've moved here that I'm gonna have some time off to kind of just like chill for like 4 or 5 days. I was supposed to go to Virginia Beach during the 4th of July, and that got canceled because my dog hurt her back. So I'm excited to kind of just
How's the pooch doing?
Unplug.
You haven't updated
Oh, she's
us.
fine.
Good.
She's fine. Yeah, she's better. It's a challenge to try to make sure that she doesn't jump up and down. That's the biggest challenge now. But she's good. She's good. Like it took her about probably 4 or 5 days, a couple days of medication, and she started to feel better. By the way, Adrian Wojnarowski just tweeted out. This is the story of the day. Deandre Ayton has signed. I'll say it this way for our guy Dan. Deandre Ayton has signed the 4-year, $133 million offer sheet. The Suns are now on the clock to match it. The expectation remains that the Suns will do so and retain Ayton, but they could take the process through Saturday night. That's got to be so annoying, by the way. Like if you're the Pacers, like if you're going to match it, if you know you're matching it, just match it. But they're going to drag it out till Saturday night. Like, all right, Indiana, how you feeling now?
Got to drag it out.
Sit on that for a few days, huh?
Got to drag
That's
it
when
out.
the Kings, they agreed with Levine on a contract, and immediately Bulls just like, we got it.
Bulls were like, no. He's going nowhere. But apparently Phoenix is going to make Indiana dance a little bit here. Dance for me. Dance, Spider, dance. Anyway. Let's talk about the Kings. Let's talk about Keegan Murray.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Oh, God. Awesome movie. God rest. Keegan Murray, dominant Summer League. Breaking news. 29 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals last night. He was much, much better than Chet Holmgren. Here was Keegan in the postgame.
Yeah. I mean, he's a 7-1 player. You don't that plays on the perimeter, so you don't really see that often. And this is my first time guarding a guy like him, and he's kind of a generational talent. So I just try to lock in and do my best.
And he did a great job. Again, we go with the disclaimer. It's the Summer League. But, Ramie, you brought up something today during the call that I found interesting. You asked all of us, JJ, Chris, and myself, would it be crazy to think that this guy is better than we thought after watching Summer League? So is it crazy? Do you feel differently now than you felt about Keegan going back 10 days, 2 weeks ago, and do you feel a little crazy if you do so?
I do feel differently, and I don't know if I should feel crazy for thinking and feeling differently than I did about Keegan Murray just a couple of weeks ago. But I'll be transparent with you, Nick.
Please do.
Listening audience.
That's really this program. We got to be transparent, man.
Got to be transparent. The reason why I think that there was room for my opinion on Keegan Murray to move is because, quite frankly, I'm not the biggest college hoops guy.
Right.
It's not my thing, and it's not my thing on its own as far as like the entertainment value of college hoops. I'll follow it as closely as I need to follow it for NBA reasons.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I grew up a Bulls fan, so if they're going to get a high draft pick, I might pay a little bit closer attention to what's going on in college to see who might end up with my team.
Makes sense.
Spent a long time talking about the Bucks and took a liking to that team with my time in Milwaukee. So if they were bad, I would pay closer attention to what was going on in college basketball and who might end up on the team that I was getting paid at that time to talk about. When you brought me here, we were right on the verge, right on the horizon of the NBA draft, and I did all the prepping, all the cramming I could possibly do to be knowledgeable of the draft and the guys who might be available to the Kings.
The old 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag.
Exactly, when it came to pick number 4, but I didn't have a huge breadth of knowledge when it comes to Keegan Murray and his game and what he did in Iowa. And on top of that, I think that the picture that we got of Keegan Murray, both if you were watching him and if you were listening to what scouts had to say about him, I think that was somewhat incomplete, Nick, because of the role that he played at Iowa and what he was asked to do. There's been 2 things about Keegan Murray that I've just as far as his game, not the demeanor, not the mild-mannered dude that he is. We've talked about that plenty, but there's been 2 things about his game, well, 3 things really, that are better than what I thought they were, or just things I didn't know he had in his bag, period. One is, and we mentioned this in the first hour, the athleticism. He seems to be, now not going against NBA-level competition because we forgot to give this disclaimer, it is just a summer league.
It is.
He looks more athletic than what I thought he was. So that's one thing, one facet of his game that I think is better than what I thought it was 2 weeks ago. His ability to play without the ball and get himself open off of pick and roll situations has been better than what I thought it was. And he said himself that was a role he wasn't really asked to play in the offense at Iowa so much. And his ability to create his own shot with the ball in his hands off the dribble. He is, or seems to be, a better player than what I thought he was coming out in the draft, Nick. That might just be because of my limited knowledge on Keegan Murray and who and what he was coming out of the draft, and some of that might be who he was asked to be at Iowa during his college career.
I don't think you're alone when you talk about, college basketball. And look, not everybody watches college basketball. Not everybody gets excited for March Madness and gets so deeply involved when you look at, these tournament plays before March Madness. I will watch college basketball. I did not watch as much as I usually do this past year because obviously I was moving across the country. I was taking on not 1 but 2 new jobs. So as tournament time came closer, I watched the Big Ten tournament some. So I saw Keegan when he killed it in the Big Ten tournament. And I watched as much of the March Madness as I could, even though I was working through it. And by the way, I'm happy you're not a gigantic college basketball fan because I am definitely going to be in Vegas next March to watch March Madness on gigantic TVs on the Circa rooftop. But anyway, I digress. This is tough for me because I don't want to sound like a know-it-all. I don't want to sound like, oh, yeah, look, I don't want to take any victory laps. So please don't take that from this. I'm not too surprised what we saw from Keegan. Now, did he produce more than I thought? Sure, I can't tell you that I thought he was going to average 24 points a game. I can't tell you I thought he was going to score 20 a night. I thought he might have a game where he'd be, 14, 15 points and he'd have a 25. But I had tweeted. I have the evidence. I have the receipts, as they say. I tweeted at Nick C Radio before Summer League began that I expected Keegan to cook. I thought he was going to cook in the Summer League. And I thought that because, as I've said from day one, He's NBA ready. He's the most NBA ready guy in this draft. I said it before the draft. I said it during the draft, and I stand by that. Out of all the guys that were drafted, he is the most NBA ready, especially when you look at the guys who were drafted in the top 5 or 6, the guys we were talking about. Most NBA ready. I also thought that he would play very well in the Summer League because of what you've seen and everybody has seen. He's just very mature, and it's something that you and I discussed. I remember saying before the draft, he's an adult in the room, so to speak. Like, he watches tons of film, and I try to point people to the Mike Schmitz interview that he did when he sat there for 25 minutes, and he can tell you everybody he played against, their names, what they do great, what they're not so great at, why he attacked them a certain way. He's just incredibly mature. He's all about his business. And so those guys will tend to do better with environments like the Summer League. He's very poised on the floor. And sometimes when you see Summer League play, you see a lot of scattered play because dudes are just like, they're trying to do too much. And sometimes Keegan did that. Don't get me wrong. He had the game where he had like 6 or 7 turnovers. He was trying to do too much in that game off the dribble. But for the most part, he's not somebody who goes outside of his skill level. He knows what he does well. He's comfortable in what he does. So the poise is there. I stick with my projection. And I think the one thing that has started to bother me, and I know it's going to frustrate me even more as we move along. It's going to frustrate me so much. The people that are looking at Keegan and Jaden and saying like, oh, all you were wrong, or all you, I've seen people say, oh, you want to take it back now, or you can actually, I know I've said this before, and Ramie has said it before. I want to say it again to make it clear. You can actually really like Keegan Murray, but still think Jaden Ivey should have been picked at 4. Right? That's how I feel. And I said that throughout the process. I try to let people know. It's not a dislike for Keegan. I really like Keegan Murray. And if the Kings were sitting at 5 and Ivey was taken, I would have been like, yes, that's the pick. It's a no-brainer. I think, I've said this from the beginning, Murray has the ceiling of an all-star. He can be an all-star one day. If he hits his ceiling, he's that kind of a player. He's going to help this team immediately. Day one, he's going to help. And I think he's a perfect fit for this team. So I stand by that. And nothing has changed my mind about what he did in the Summer League. He's had a tremendous Summer League. I think it makes me even more confident in some of the things I've said. I think it should make Kings fans very confident that this guy is going to come in and he is going to impact this team. I don't think he's going to score 30 a night because I don't think they're going to ask him to be that kind of a player. But for what he's going to be asked to do, I think he's going to be terrific. Now I want your thoughts. Ramie wants your thoughts. Have you changed your mind about Keegan as a player since the beginning of Summer League? What has surprised you about Keegan Murray? 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone line is 1-800-920-1140. You can follow us on Twitter at NickCRadio and at Ramie is tweeting. We want your thoughts on Keegan. Have you shifted? If so, how much? Also in 90 seconds, we'll discuss the front office rivalry that could impact the entire NBA landscape.
Sactown Sports 1140 is giving you more NBA Summer League access than anyone else in Sacramento.
Impressions, let's start with the Kings' top pick, Keegan Murray. What do you think of him?
Yeah, I thought he was terrific. I called efficient and versatile. But what I really like, and I know the Kings, he's going to make shots. He's an elite jump shooter.
Get all the latest on our social media channels
and online at SactownSports.com.
Coverage of the 2022 NBA Summer League is brought to you by Power Business Technology. Visit them at PowerCopiers.com.
Hey kids, it's Carmichael Dave talking to you about Capital Casino. Summertime heat is here, and Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite all of you to soak up some air conditioning, hang out, have some food, have a beverage. Always the most variety of table games in the region. Always the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Be part of the vintage motorcycle invasion of Monterey's WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, for the AHRMA Classic Moto Fest, July 15th through 17th. Nowhere else on the planet can you experience vintage motorcycles and daring sidecars, chasing down the iconic corkscrew, flat track bikes at full speed, and off-road racing. The paddock includes a swap meet, a Strider Bike Adventure Zone, food trucks, and more. Tickets begin at $20, and children 15 and under are free. For tickets, visit WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the afternoons.
Talking to the original tag team of ugly pukes here.
It's Cattles. It's Ramie.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Tiger Woods, not a great start at the Open Championship today. Sactown Sports 1140's coverage of the 2022 Open Championship brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices, always about quality. You look at the leaderboard, just a quick update for a second before we get back to the Kings and your thoughts. Rory McIlroy in second. He's 6 under. That's nice. Other big names, not many. Lee Westwood is 4 under. Dustin Johnson is 4 under. Scotty Scheffler is 4 under. DeChambeau is 3 under. So there's your Open Championship update. Keegan Murray, how much has he kind of changed your mind? Has he changed your mind at all as far as who he is as a player? He has not changed my mind much because I expected him to play very well in the Summer League. Dean, YouTube. Sactown Sports 1140. Yeah, he's NBA ready. Also, the other guys, even though they are not NBA ready, they may never get NBA ready. LOL.
That is true. Like when we have all this ceiling talk and bring up the fact that Keegan Murray is the most NBA ready guy, like there's no sure thing that those guys are good. Now they'll probably get better, but there's no sure thing that they'll close the gap between where they are now and what that ceiling is. You know what you got in Keegan Murray.
Perfectly fair. Again, when we talked about, because I think a lot of this, especially as we go on, unfortunately, I think a lot of this is going to be, shape-shifted by people about, how you felt about Keegan the night of the draft. And what, again, when we talked about Keegan Murray versus Jaden Ivey, we had that conversation. I'm on record multiple times saying that I thought Keegan had the highest floor, which is exactly what you're saying, Ramie. Like, he's got the highest floor. It's not to say that he has a limited, like a supremely limited ceiling. I just thought most of what you've seen from Keegan is what you're going to get. But I do think there's another level he can reach. And if he reaches that level, then again, I think he's an all-star talent. But as far as like right now, yes, his floor is higher than anybody else. I also called him the safest pick in this draft, and I said that a million times. And I think we see why as we watched him in the Summer League. And yes, he is going to play tomorrow night. We'll continue with your thoughts on Keegan Murray. I also want to get to this Donovan Mitchell stuff. The Knicks and the Jazz are discussing a trade right now. But first, let's go to Paul. What's up, Paul?
Oh, man. Jay Ivey D's, you know what? Keegan Murray's amazing. I mean, the guy, listen, Ramie, I already got my jersey. I got my jersey downtown yesterday at
there we go.
the King store already, Keegan jersey. I'm telling you right now, this guy can play ball. It's just really incredible. It's just really incredible. The kid, he reminds me of like a little bit lightweight of a Tim Duncan. He's very calm out there. He plays the ball. He plays the game.
Yeah, he is, Paul, and we appreciate the phone call. Thanks for listening as well. So yeah, I mean, he's the kind of guy that, like, if you especially love like the idiosyncrasies of basketball, you're gonna love him even more. Like, he does a lot of the small things, off the ball movement, defense, help defense. He does a lot of the small things. We do have some news here out of the NBA. Is this breaking newsworthy? Let's do it. We might as well. We got the news sounder.
When it breaks, we have it first. Sactown Sports 1140.
Breaking news.
Oh. All right. So according to Shams Charania, the Phoenix Suns have already matched the Pacers' 4-year, $133 million maximum offer sheet.
Didn't make them wait.
No, on Deandre Ayton. And then that's interesting because Woj just tweeted that they said they might wait. They might wait until Saturday night. Not so much. As our friend Jill Adge on Twitter just tweeted, we can all move on. Yes, now we can move on from this story. But it is interesting, Ramie, to talk about some of the tentacles on this. Phoenix now has Deandre Ayton until at least January. They can't trade him. He's not tradable until January.
And even after that date, they can't trade him to the Pacers. Is
for
that
a year.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So for 1 year, he can't be dealt to Indiana. So, I mean, Phoenix, for all intents and purposes, they're frozen. You know? I mean, they're frozen on what they're going to do now. Because as far as Ayton goes, they're I hate to say the word stuck. The dude's a former number 1 pick. He is a good NBA player. Maybe Phoenix has not used him up to his capability just yet. So I don't want to say stuck, but Phoenix is in a position now where they just have no movement with him. They don't love him. We all know they don't love him. If they loved him, they would have signed him to the max and got it done. Day one, you saw all those other guys. Devin Booker got his deal. All these other cats signed these big contracts as soon as they could. The Suns were not in love with DeAndre Ayton. They're still not in love with him. And, you know, now they have to give him the max. I mean, they obviously tried. They obviously tried to work out a deal, right? They wanted Indiana to work out a sign and trade. Indiana was unwilling because Indiana said, "We got the cap space, guys. We don't have to pull any trade. We don't have to give you any asset. We don't even want to give you a second-round pick. Like, we got the money. We're just going to sign the dude." And so now Phoenix has to match it because Phoenix was stuck with Bismack Biyombo. And if you want to try to win a championship like they do, you're not going to win a championship with Bismack Biyombo as your center. So DeAndre Ayton is going to stay. I think this does impact a lot in the league, Ramie. I think, you know, if you're Kevin Durant, if you're in on those conversations, Phoenix is going to have to put up a lot of money now because now they're going to have to not only pay DeAndre Ayton this contract, at least start it and have it on their books, they're also going to have to pay Kevin Durant a ton of money. And now you talk about luxury tax and all that crap.
For everything that you said about being a number 1 overall pick, having done some things in this league already, Nick, if you don't want to be with somebody and you're stuck with that person, you're stuck. You know what I mean? Like,
fair.
If you're in a marriage, and
I'm trying to be too nice.
If you're in a marriage and you can't get out because it's going to cost you too much in the settlement, so you stick around, that doesn't mean that person you're with is a bad spouse and would be a bad spouse for anybody that they ended up with. But you're stuck. Like, that ain't the person you want to be with. That ain't the relationship you want to be in. And so you're stuck. The Phoenix Suns are stuck with a guy with a max contract who, by all indications, they did not want. They did not want to go into next season with DeAndre Ayton. And now they are, I'll use the word, stuck with that dude.
You know, this is funny because obviously Phoenix is trying to mend fences already. So Shams Charania just quote tweeted his tweet about how they matched the offer. And he tweets this: "The Suns made clear throughout free agency that the franchise intended to bring Ayton back. They were committed to spend in order to continue competing for a title." This is 100% from the Phoenix front office and our ownership.
For sure.
This is no. We always wanted this to happen.
Of course we wanted DeAndre Ayton.
This is such baloney. It's been reported in several other places.
There's been too much smoke for there not to be some kind of fire there.
I know, Shams is one of the best in the business, but it's been reported in a lot of places that Phoenix was trying to deal DeAndre Ayton. And Brooklyn said no. Like I just said moments ago, they were trying to work out a sign and trade deal with Indiana. Here's the semantics game that I bet you they're playing. I'm sure they were fine with bringing DeAndre Ayton back. What Shams has omitted from his tweet is that they did not want this guy back at max money. If it was $18 million a year, maybe, yes, they made it clear to him, "Hey, listen, DeAndre, we'd love to have you back. How about a max contract? You know, we'd love to have you back." And then it stopped there. They don't want this contract. They don't want this player on this contract. So I appreciate Shams and the work he does, but let's not forget some of these NBA insiders, if not most or all of them, they have agendas as well, and they have to help teams out and agents out. I do not believe for 1 second that Phoenix is happy right now.
No.
That they are stuck with this contract in DeAndre Ayton.
No, they were forced in. They were backed into a corner.
So we'll see what happens. And again, there are more moves. This can impact more across the league, which we'll get to. I also want to get to the Donovan Mitchell stuff. I want to get to this front office rivalry, which might get even uglier than it's already been. We'll get to all of it coming up next.
Breaking news, the latest happenings with your favorite teams.
You ever wonder about what the heck all these kids are doing on computers all the time?
Stay up to date with all of it by following us on Instagram and Twitter.
Excuse me, gentlemen, a little update for you.
At Sactown 1140.
I'm Jay Mars with your Orange and Black Report, brought to you by Coastside Medical Clinic. With the All-Star break approaching, San Francisco finds themselves in quite the slump. The team has lost 10 of its last 15 games, finding themselves 12 games out of first place in the National League West and 2 games back of the third wildcard slot in the National League. General Manager Farhan Zaidi will need to look to make upgrades to the roster at the trade deadline if San Francisco is going to climb back into contention. With your Orange and Black Report, brought to you by Coastside Medical Clinic, I'm Jay Mars on Sactown Sports 1140.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Coastside Clinic. Are you struggling with ED and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical breakthrough. The WAVE technology at Coastside Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. Call Coastside Clinic now to qualify. 916-603-2000. That's 916-603-2000.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed small business. Local ownership cuts out the red tape while ensuring our staff has the autonomy to make the quick, respectable business decisions necessary to deliver on our promise to always exceed the expectations of our customers. The power of our local family team will help you with your business printing needs. Contact us today at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
I'm sure you've heard the phrase, let Safe Credit Union put you first. Well, that phrase is honest, genuine, and sincere. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa for Safe Credit Union. At Safe, you're not a number. You are part of a member-owned, community-focused family. Explore the benefits of saving, borrowing, and investing with a partner who puts you first. Safe Credit Union is insured by NCUA.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a speed bump. Did you hear what I said? I'm a speed bump. And if you have cut-rate car insurance, the cost to reattach your muffler could really be a bump in the road. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Greetings, Sacramento. It's Doug Christie here with the Good Feet store asking, when was the last time you did something nice for your feet? If you're like most people, your feet get attention only when there's a problem. That can mean something painful, maybe real painful, like plantar fasciitis. That was me. I counted on my feet to make a living, but ignored them until almost too late. Fortunately, I found the Good Feet store, got my free personalized fitting and test walk, and in 20 minutes, I left with my expertly fit Good Feet 3-step arch support system. The pain was no more, and my feet have never felt so comfortable. I'm a Good Feet believer, and you can be too. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, and Modesto. Online at goodfeet.com.
Just two guys rubbing elbows, talking sports,
and lots of other stuff.
It would keep you on edge. That's really crazy interesting.
It's Cattles Ramie, Sactown Sports 1140.
So John Gambadoro down in Phoenix just tweeted again some of what Shams had tweeted, that, the Suns were never not going to match the offer sheet. And I'm not hearing that. I'm just not. If they were just so adamant about bringing him back, then you don't let him go through this game, and you wrap him up and you get this thing done, and you don't have to worry about matching offer sheets and this and that. But the other part of it is, from the Pacers side, and we'll get to Donovan Mitchell in a minute as well. But from the Pacers side, what do they do now? because they not only miss out on DeAndre Ayton, but now you have very publicly let the world know you want Miles Turner out of there.
Well, it hasn't been this clear, but it seemed that way for about a year now, that Miles Turner in Indiana was not something that was going to last an eternity. At least it seemed that way to me, Nick. After it seemed like he would be the guy they'd try to build that thing around 2 or 3 years ago, it just has gone in the wrong direction ever since for Miles Turner and the Indiana Pacers. That seemed pretty plain to me for at least a year.
Yeah, but it's now out there that they were trying to trade Miles Turner to Phoenix.
Is asking another girl to the prom when you had a girlfriend.
Yeah, it's not just like some of these other things you could kind of talk away. You could talk away from. You go, they called us, or we always have conversations. This one was like Indiana was active. They signed Ayton to a max offer sheet. Like, they were trying to trade Turner to Phoenix to bring back DeAndre Ayton. And so I don't know if that thing is dead and buried. And I tweeted this, and my guy K Reed me on Twitter told me to delete the tweet. Keith Reed, I'm not deleting the tweet. So take that. I would be in on Miles Turner if I were the Kings. I would. I would see what they'd be willing to take for him. I think that relationship is in such tough shape. I don't think you would have to pay an awful lot for Turner. And for people saying, oh, well, you just had that with Indiana and blah, blah, blah. Look, it's a different team, a different coach, different talent, et cetera, et cetera. If you think Keegan Murray can play the 3, I'd kick the tires. And I know people say, oh, well, they weren't a great fit. That's not true. Sabonis, you're not going to find a better fit as a big man alongside Sabonis than Miles Turner. He is precisely what you need. His strengths are the weaknesses of Sabonis.
Mm-hmm.
Miles Turner is a stretch big who can protect the rim. He can catch lobs. He's athletic. He is precisely the kind of big you need with Sabonis. The reason why it didn't work in Indiana is, A, Indiana just wasn't good. You had a lot of injuries that caused issues. B, it was more role than fit. Turner wanted more shots. Now, if that's still the case, you obviously don't bring him in. But has Miles Turner been humbled by this situation? Would Miles Turner say, you know what? Sacramento's got a pretty good team already. They're better than Indiana. I wouldn't mind trying to run that back for one more year. He's got 1 year left on his contract. You know, could you trade Rashawn Holmes in a couple of, like a Terrence Davis contract? Try to bring him back in?
I wouldn't hate it. I do have some reservations about it because it didn't work in Indiana, and I don't know if Miles Turner has been humbled or is willing to take a back seat or a lesser role to Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. But if you talk to the guy and it seems like he is and ready and willing to come in here and play that type of role, yeah, I don't hate the idea. I'm okay with it.
I just think he's a great fit. I think he's a great fit. And, again,
basketball-wise, yes.
Yes.
The skill set, the tools,
right.
Yes.
But if Miles Turner is like, no, if he's looking at it says, well, Sabonis took shots from me all those years in Indiana, then you obviously don't want to bring him out of the team. But if you have conversations, the Celtics went through this with Indiana recently. They talked to Brogdon. They had to figure out. They talked to other people in the league and said, hey, look, would Malcolm Brogdon be okay with being a sixth man? And Brogdon said yes, and people around the league said yes, he'll be able to handle that role. So the Celtics made the trade. Very similar this way. Like Monty can call people in the league. Monty can call representation of Miles Turner. There's a lot of back channel conversations you can have, okay? If Miles Turner was open to playing the role that the Kings would ask him to play, then I would absolutely kick the tires because I think he's a talented guy. He can shoot the 3 on pretty good volume. Again, he can rim protect. He can rebound. He does a lot of the things that you would like to see next to Sabonis. But if he's not down with it, then obviously you don't make a trade. You don't even bother.
Right.
If he shuts it down.
Right.
All right. Let's get to this Donovan Mitchell stuff because that's the other story happening in the NBA today. Mitchell, we found out on Tuesday, is on the trading block. Utah will take phone calls, pretty much. And Shams Charania reported last night, along with Tony Jones at The Athletic, that the Knicks and Jazz were talking. Should not be a surprise. Ramie and I talked about that on Tuesday. The Knicks have been linked with Mitchell for the last couple of years. He is from Greenwich, Connecticut. So, close to that area. He hangs out in New York during the offseason plenty.
One of the members of the Mean Street Posse.
There you go.
Of course. Yes.
For you wrestling fans. Pete Gass's neighbor. So, you look at his situation, it makes all the sense in the world, and the Knicks have been desperate. The Knicks, want somebody who is seen as a top 25 player, yada, yada. So they're talking. They're having conversations. You might wonder why Miami's not involved, because that's been another team. And Ramie, I brought this up to you and JJ the other day. What's fascinating about this whole thing is that Danny Ainge and Pat Riley hate each other.
Which I did not know, or I just forgot.
I don't use that word lightly. They hate each other. As a matter of fact, you go back to 2013, Pat Riley released a statement on Danny Ainge. Because Ainge, I forget what Ainge had said something. I forget what he said, but Pat Riley in a statement, quote, Danny Ainge needs to shut the bleep up and manage his own team.
In a public statement.
Yes, Matt Moore on Twitter at HP Basketball
press release that.
Reminded people that
that's amazing.
Riley actually had that printed and distributed in the media room. He gave it to the media. So, as I always say, relationships matter in the NBA. I'm not saying Ainge wouldn't make a deal with Pat Riley, but if Donovan Mitchell ends up as a member of the Miami Heat, it's going to be because Danny Ainge embarrassed Pat Riley in the negotiation. Like, he has to win this by... You think Danny Ainge always wants to win trades, and he does? You think he's a hard negotiator, and he is? Him and Pat Riley? He has to win that by eons.
I love that pettiness right there.
Oh,
I love it.
They hate each other.
I love it.
Goes back to L.A. and Boston. The days where Riley was the coach and Danny was a player, and then, I
was wondering how far back does this go?
80s,
Good
man.
Lord.
Yeah, they just not fans of each other.
It's a long time to hate somebody.
And then they both became execs, and they continued to not like each other. But anyway, speaking of Mitchell trade scenarios, I thought this was kind of interesting. ESPN came out with some scenarios. Tim McMahon looks at a possible New York deal. New York receives Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gay. Utah receives Evan Fournier, Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, Miles McBride, and 3 Knicks first-round picks. A Mavs pick, a Wizards pick for next year's draft, top 10, top 14 protected. That for me, that's not enough.
No.
I'm not trading Donovan Mitchell when the best player in the deal is Obi Toppin. I'm sorry, I'm out. The Miami scenario, if you want to believe that Pat Riley and Danny Ainge are going to work with each other. This is from Kevin Pelton. Tyler Hero, Nikola Jovic, not Jokic, Jovic.
Dude, when I read that, for a second, I was like, what?
Wait a minute. Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, and 3 first-round picks. Donovan Mitchell and Azubuike would go to Miami. You in on that deal? Tyler Hero?
No, probably not. No.
Out on that deal. How about Toronto? Mitchell moves north. Andre Snellings has this one. Toronto receives Donovan Mitchell. Utah would receive Gary Trent Jr., Malachi Flynn, Kem Birch, and 3 first-round picks, 23, 25, and 27.
No, probably not. No.
I mean, if you give Toronto Mitchell, like, those picks are going to mean nothing. Oklahoma City, Bobby Marks. Donovan Mitchell goes to OKC. Utah receives Trey Mann, Derek Favors, JaMychal Green, Alexei Pokusevski. Got to make sure I say that one right.
Well done.
And a bunch of picks. All of them pretty much protected.
No. Probably not. No.
Because these picks, a lot of these picks are not going to be worth as much as you might think.
Really?
And this one's out the door now because DeAndre Ayton. But I thought Tim Bontemps, my friend Tim Bontemps from ESPN, he came up with a deal. The trade that might break NBA Twitter.
I love this.
Brooklyn would get Donovan Mitchell, Mikal Bridges, Miles Turner. Phoenix would get KD. Indiana would get DeAndre Ayton. Utah would get Ben Simmons. The Phoenix picks in 23, 25, 27, and 29, and Phoenix swaps in 24, 26, and 28.
I love that. I just love the I'm an agent of chaos, and I love the absolute chaos that trade is. Like so many moving parts, you almost can't even keep up with it, and it ties together and brings to an end all the storylines that are going on in the NBA offseason right now between Mitchell and Durant and Simmons. I guess the Kyrie Irving situation would still be hanging up in the air. The DeAndre Ayton question, which was one of the bigger question marks till about 12 minutes ago. Like that would be classic NBA offseason right there if a trade like that went down. I don't know like what the pieces are, but maybe somehow, some way you can replace the Phoenix Suns with the Lakers in this and tie all the ends together.
If I'm Ainge, I'm asking for RJ Barrett. If I'm Ainge, I'm asking for Bam Adebayo. If I'm,
but I mean, Ben Simmons and all. I mean, that's what do we read off there? Well, seven picks.
It might be the corpse of Ben Simmons.
7 first-round picks.
We don't know if Ben Simmons is even going to play.
That is true.
So yeah, it's not easy, man. It's not easy to make any of these trades. It's really not. And that just goes to show you. 916-339-1140 is the text line.
It would make sense, though, for Durant and Mitchell. Not like one for the other, but for those two to be involved in some kind of, like for those to resolve each other. You know what I mean? With Durant seemingly being out in Brooklyn.
The old 2 birds, 1 stone thing?
Exactly, yeah.
All right, we got a lot more coming up.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going to make this, the summer event, the best yet?
Savings. Right now, save up to $10,250 off MSRP on new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs, or $6,250 off MSRP on 2022 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cabs. Couple that with up to 32 miles per gallon highway with the Ram EcoDiesel, and you'll have even more savings over trucks that are only a few years old.
32 miles per gallon highway for a truck? Are you sure?
Yep, 32 miles per gallon with the Ram EcoDiesel. Plus, we have over 600 available, including the hard-to-find Ram heavy-duty models.
Well, better hurry, because this kind of savings with those MPGs won't last long. Take a test drive today or see their full selection when you search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
$10,250 total net savings after $6,000 factory rebates and $4,250 dealer discounts. Rebates include $1,500 Chrysler Capital bonus cash. Must finance with Chrysler Capital qualified. And $1,250 Conquest bonus cash. Must own or lease non-FCA group vehicle. $6,250 total net savings after $1,750 factory rebates and $4,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include $1,250 Conquest bonus cash. Must lease or own non-FCA group vehicle. 5 each net savings. Highway MPG stated according to US EPA estimate. See dealer for details.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Flex. It's a better way to watch. Well, when the original schedule came out this year, the A's did not have a doubleheader, but because of the lockout, the A's played 2 twin bills in May against the Angels and the Tigers, and their All-Star break will be shortened by 1 day this year. The A's resume play after the break on Thursday the 21st. 1 ticket gets you 2 games, the A's and the Tigers at the Coliseum, a doubleheader beginning at 12:37. Ken Korak to tell you there's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there are a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest reliable network, the protection of security edge, and a reliable 5G network powering your mobile devices. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Log on to business.comcast.com for technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
O'Reilly. This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'll ring you up in a second. Kim, can you see if we have more acid wash?
Desmona's Thrift Store is the spot for killer vintage finds.
Oh, that looks fabulous on you. Hey, can you do the register?
But her sales clerk situation feels pretty threadbare.
Oh, yeah, let me clear out that fitting room.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by conducting interviews on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
When there's trouble in the bedroom, it can hurt more than just your confidence. It can hurt your marriage or dating life. Not knowing if you'll be able to perform at any moment doesn't help either. Pacific Men's Clinic can help. Go to the clinic that specializes in one thing, making your love life the best it can be by solving the problem at its source. Pacific Men's Clinic's non-invasive procedure. It's safe and pain-free. Call 916-545-7577 for your free consultation now. That's 916-545-7577.
One guy's trying not to throw furniture.
That's a personal foul. While the other's still trying to find some.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
I just want to share this tweet because it hurts my head. K. Reed me again. Keith Reed talking to me about the Miles Turner Domas thing. Stretch 4 shot blocker like Collins would be okay. A center pushing Sabonis to the 4 for the bulk of the game, as proven in Indy, is not great. Keith, the 4 and the 5 are interchangeable, depending on their games. It doesn't matter if it's the power forward or the center who is shooting. You either have the stretch 4 or you have the stretch 5. They're interchangeable. So stop with the numbers in the 4 and the 5 stuff and just think about basketball. You have 2 bigs. One big is the guy that's in the paint, free throw line, elbow, run offense through him. He's the facilitator. He's the guy who bangs down low and rebounds and posts up, draws double teams, kicks out to three-point shooters. The other guy is the big that is the stretch big, the guy who can shoot and make threes, the guy who can, help the other big by defending the rim because the other big is not necessarily great at doing so. It is not about fit. If you think Miles Turner and Domas do not fit together, then the conversation's over. I have nothing else to say because I disagree with you vehemently. As a matter of fact, I was reading something from The Ringer just about a week ago because somebody questioned me on this and said, well, was the fit bad? Wasn't the fit bad? And if you look at it analytically and production-wise, heading into December of last year, late December, I think the article, for some reason, it's like, December of 21 when this was written. Turner and Domas were actually the most effective they had been as a pair since they'd been together, and Turner specifically was playing his best basketball. The problem is role. It's not fit. Turner's a great fit with Sabonis if he wants to be a great fit with Sabonis. The problem in Indy was that Turner did not want to play that role. That's the problem. So again, from a pure, as Ramie put it last segment, from a pure basketball standpoint, I think it works great. But Turner would have to buy in. And look, there's nothing that tells us Turner would be willing to buy in. But if I found out he was willing to buy in, if I'm Monty, I'm placing the phone call.
I believe in Monty McNair.
Thank you. Monty McNair, our guy. All right, let's switch gears here. It's my last segment. I'm done next week. I am off all next week. We're both off on Thursday, but I'm off Monday through Wednesday and Friday. So let's have some fun. Verlad did a great job of sending this yesterday to our Slack channel. We weren't able to get to it because, again, our show. But this is an exceptional Coors Light commercial starring Patrick Mahomes. Listen to this.
This summer, we tapped star quarterback Patrick Mahomes to be in a promo for Coors Light. Turns out, we overlooked the fact that he can't actually promote Coors Light.
It's a flashlight.
That's right. It's a flashlight, not a beer. Introducing the Coors Light. Coming in at 12 or 16 fluid ounces. Nothing beats the sturdy feeling of the Coors Light in your hand. The Coors Light is 100% flashlight and 0% adult beverage. It's perfect for camping trips or those warm summer nights spent with great friends. The Coors Light is made with high-quality steel, so it feels cold as the Rocky Mountains, to use a random analogy.
It's a quality flashlight.
This summer, sit back, chill, and crack open the Coors Light. Get your The Coors Light today at thecoorslight.com while supplies last. All proceeds go to the 15 and the Mahomes Foundation. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
Absolutely fantastic commercial. It's literally a light with the Coors Light logo on it.
Flashlight. Yeah.
It is the perfect way to handle the situation that they had to handle.
Because pro athletes are not, or at least NFL players are not allowed to endorse alcohol directly.
Verlad, you can.
Is the reason behind that? Am I correct about that?
Yeah, that's correct. And when I saw that commercial, I immediately went to the website like, okay, I got to get this light, and it was sold out. Like,
wait, they're actually selling the flashlight?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's an actual flashlight.
Oh, wow.
You have to you go to the website and all of that.
I thought it was just a dumb commercial to sell beer, and they're okay. All right.
Nope.
Isn't it crazy though that the NFL, like Coors Light, can be the official beer of the National Football League, but their players can't just directly endorse it? Now, it spurred some creativity and a funny commercial that we just played, but they shouldn't have to jump through these hoops. Like, if the NFL can have an official beer, then the players in the NFL should be able to do an advertisement for said beer, shouldn't they?
Not how it works, Rami. This is the NFL we're
Makes
talking
no
about.
sense. That's never made sense to me.
That commercial made a lot of sense. Loved it. Speaking of quarterbacks, another story that we wanted to get to that we were unable to until right now. We have an update on the Aaron Rodgers tattoo situation. Now, we talked about this tat last week, trying to decipher what it meant, and, I mean, good luck to you. But now we might have the reason why Aaron Rodgers got this tattoo with the two lions and the sunset above the ocean and what looked like one of those Japanese fans.
Mm-hmm.
So now we might know what that's all about. Maybe. So Jacqueline Hendricks wrote this for the New York Post. Though Rodgers vowed to elaborate a little more on the piece one day, online sleuths have noticed similarities between his body art and that of his rumored girlfriend, Blue of Earth. Sideaction.com. She says her name is Blue. It's not Blue of Earth.
Blue of Earth. That would be weird.
Sideaction.com, that website, recently called attention to a tattoo Blue shared on Instagram in 2019, which features drawings similar to that of Rodgers' ink. What's more is the design was crafted by the same tattoo artist. Blue wrote at the time in 2019, quote, "An initiation, a return to truth, a stand for unconditional love, a rite of passage, a reclaiming of my own body. Thank you to my soul brother," at the artist's name, "for adorning my vessel with your light." You always know people are deep thinkers when they call their bodies the vessel. The vessel with your light. Though reports identified Blue as a witch, she shot down those allegations in a series of Instagram stories posted in June. P.S. My name is Blue, not Blue of Earth. I do not identify as a witch. Y'all are hilarious. Rodgers currently follows Blue on Instagram, where she posts about her Deja Blue podcast. See what she did there? Which has been described as a, quote, clean reservoir of consciousness. Oh, my God.
That's what the Cattles and Ramie show is, isn't it?
Yes, we're a clean reservoir of consciousness from which souls thirsty for purity, relief, and love can drink.
That really is how we should describe our radio show.
I mean, this is
you know what?
Truly something.
And I've known this for a long time about Aaron Rodgers, but like this cements it. Aaron Rodgers he's fall hard guy. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
Every girl is the girl. You know what I mean? He's gone up twice now at MVP speeches and said, "I couldn't have done this without you, baby," to two different women within a matter of like 3 years. You know what I mean? There was Olivia Munn, and then there was
Cheyenne Woodley.
Cheyenne Woodley.
Or Shailene Woodley.
Shailene Woodley. I'm sorry, Shailene Woodley, yeah. And now he's getting matching tattoos of Blue, not a witch, not of Earth. Just slow down, bro. Just slow down, Aaron.
He broke up with Woodley, or they broke up, like 3 to 4 months ago.
2 months afterwards, he was reportedly involved with Blue, not of Earth, not a witch. And has matching tattoos. Just pump the brakes, Aaron.
It took him 2 minutes.
Love is great. Love
2
is
months.
beautiful, but pump the brakes just a little bit, bro.
Best friends.
2 months. 2 months, he jumps right in it. I mean,
we all know a fall hard guy. You might be a fall hard guy. I don't know, listening to us right now, but we all know a fall hard guy. Aaron Rodgers is a fall hard guy.
Yeah. You
better bring it.
I dated a girl in college, and I professed my love to her too early and lost her. That's an actual story. That happened. It took me it was like 3-4 months, or maybe it was like 3-4 months. It wasn't like 2 weeks.
Oh, and then you said the magic words, and she was
I dropped the love bomb, and
wow.
Slowly but surely, it went downhill from there.
That can't feel good.
I freaked her out.
I can't feel good at all.
It's all right. I ended up with Kelly. I mean, I would not want to do anything different. But yeah, she tossed me aside.
Freaking bum.
Don't tell people you love them too early, folks. That's what I leave you with. I'm off next week. Ramie's got me solo with JJ and Vlad. Vlad's not going to be here Monday, Tuesday. He's like, forget this. He's going to meet me in Santa Cruz.
Ramie and JJ.
Gonna hang by the ocean together. Should be fun. Everybody be good, be safe, be healthy. Ramie's in tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
1 hour, a power hour again, before the A's. Again, be good, be safe, be healthy. Cattles and Ramie. Thanks to Overlot and JJ. Sactown Sports, 1140.
Now, local businesses can get closer to every customer in their city with fast, affordable shipping. Introducing USPS Connect Local. You want speed? We deliver same or next day. You want savings? We give you supplies at a flat rate. You want less legwork? We do free pickups. Move your local